Ooh, the gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end. Squats.
Yeah, try it sometime.
I may be retired, but I still have finances to manage. With direct deposit and automatic payments, ICCU makes it easy to spend less time banking and more time baking.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on into Day 2 Mountain West Basketball Media Days. We are live at Resorts World here in Las Vegas. Going to be a great day today. We got live interviews starting here in about 5 minutes for 2 straight hours. So we may set a record for our longest consecutive live stream here. 2 straight hours of coach interviews. We're going to kick it off with Jeff Linder of Wyoming here in a couple of minutes. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Set up all this equipment, doing all this solo today on my own. So if there are any issues or if you can't hear me, please let me know right out of the bat, and you probably already would have, so that probably means we're good. But we are set up here at Resorts World, and as I said, here in about 5 minutes, Jeff Linder, the head coach at Wyoming, will join us, and we'll go straight through with the coaches. We did have to push back the interview, just if you guys are excited and ready to hear it, as I am, with our friend Mark Few and Leon Rice in a joint interview for the first time. It's being pushed back. Now we're going to try for 12:30 Boise time. So we're going to go almost 3 hours of consecutive interviews. 12:30 is going to be the start time for the interview now, if we can squeeze it in. Mark Few's plane leaving Spokane delayed by fog, so they're going to have to push back his portion of the interview. Mark Few, again, delayed by fog for his plane. So we will hopefully have him here in time and try to squeeze it in at 11:30. I'm disappointed we couldn't get to it right out of the bat at 9:30, but we'll have Brian Dutcher at 9:30 instead, the San Diego State coach, talking about being in the championship game last year. We'll have the Nevada coach, Steve Alford, at 9:40 as well. So literally every 10 minutes, we're going to roll through another one of your favorite Mountain West coaches here and have some fun doing it. And Jeff Linder's early. If you want to just come hang out early, Jeff, Jeff is trying so hard to get on Bronco Nation News here that we'll bring Coach Linder in early here. I should say, as Coach is getting his headset on here, that the Mountain West preseason poll did come out. We got San Diego State picked first, and then Boise State comes in second. Tyson Degenhart does make the all-conference team for Boise State with Isaiah Stevens, Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn, and Lamont Butler. Preseason player of the year is Isaiah Stevens. But Jeff Linder, head coach at Wyoming, former assistant, obviously, at Boise State. How's it going, sir?
Doing good. Am I allowed to bring up Johnny Ballgame on this?
Please do.
Is he part of Bronco? I see you guys online. Everybody that was in Boise back in the day, I think, is part of Bronco Nation News now. So shout out to Ballgame if Ballgame's out there.
Ballgame is out there. I'm sure he's watching. He was giving me some questions to try to ask, and I said I got plenty of questions myself, but we appreciate it, Johnny. I did my homework here, Coach. But first of all, just to have the media days here in person and get everybody back together again. And I know we had to do it COVID for a couple of years. What are your thoughts just on being here and kind of the unofficial kickoff to the season here?
Well, it's been great. Just to kind of feel the energy here at the hotel and in the meeting space. Our league has definitely been trajecting in the right direction over the last few years, and you can just see that momentum building here. And to be able to do something like this, especially to bring a couple of the players so they can experience something like this has been good. But same time, too, I got to travel 2 hours from Laramie to the airport and back, and then now tonight there's a winter storm warning. So hopefully when we get back at 8 o'clock and then drive up the interstate, that we can get back to Laradice.
Well, you don't have the private jet that Mark Few's on, I guess, to get down here today?
No, the state jet, I guess, was not available for the Cowboys, and so we chartered on Southwest out of Denver.
There you go. I'll be heading on the Southwest flight to Denver tomorrow for the Boise State CSU football game in the morning. But what for you? I know it was a tough year last year, personally, professionally, just a lot going on for you. How are you? How are you doing? And how are things? With your family, and how are you kind of trying to just refresh and recharge here for this season?
Yeah, no. Thanks for asking, and I appreciate everybody, especially some of the people back in Boise, having been there for 6 years. A lot of support during a tough time, and so. But that's life, and unfortunately, you got to go through some things. And I was watching Creed 2 on the plane ride on the way here, and the favorite part in that movie is when he has to go to the desert or hell, and he's got to figure out some things, and and then he rises back to the top. And so I think that's what we're focused on, is just right now. And I do have a group I'm really excited about. Obviously, every coach is excited about their group now, but I do have a group that, for me, when I got guards that can really score, I can do a lot of different things. And then I got two guys, and I think that's the thing right now is people don't really know our roster, because I have one guy, Mason Walters, who was the NAI National Player of the Year, although probably Kobe over at College of Idaho knows a little bit about him, but he is a really, really good player. And then Aquel Cott, who was a first-team Division II All-American who averaged 25 a game. The thing I always say, and Coach Rice was we were always big on this, is that you can teach guys how to guard, but you can't teach guys how to make shots. And I don't care what level of basketball you're at, if whether that's at NAIA level, D3, D2, if your ball goes in the basket, your ball goes in the basket. And there's a lot of guys at the Division I level, when they're takers, they're not makers. And when that ball goes up, and so to have two guards, Tulsa's leading scorer, Sam Griffin, coming in, so to have Sam and Aquel at the guard spot, Mason Walters, who'll be a matchup problem at the 4, a lot like Degenhart, who's 6'9", 230, can go inside, outside. And I like where we're at. I think we can score. We're gonna have to figure out how to guard a little bit, but I'd rather try to figure out how to guard than figure out how to score. And I think I saw something where like those three guys combined for like 68 points a game or something. And as you said, I mean, you're adding some firepower. Yeah, no, and that's Mason. I've been doing this long enough. I mean, I know what this league is. I mean, Mason Walters is an all-league guy. I mean, he's a guy that after being in NAI level for 4 or 5 years, I mean, he could have went and started at a pretty good level professionally over in Europe. But but to have those guys, and then to add Brendan Wenzel, who I think was going to have a really good year, and then Caden Powell, who showed flashes last year as a freshman. We got 6 or 7 older guys. Problem is, after those older guys, we got the younger guys, and so we're going to need a couple of those younger guys to kind of step up to give us some depth. How much, and you guys lost, didn't have Graham EK last year, all of last year, and just seemed like that was just a constant question you had to answer, constant question, is he coming back? And just how I think it was 9 transfers you lost to after the season. I mean, it's pretty much a completely new roster, except, as you said, Brandon and Kenny Foster, for the most part coming back. But how much did that kind of mess with things last year, just with not knowing if Graham was coming back? Or, I mean, obviously he was the preseason player of the year. I mean, that had to really affect your team not having him. Well, yeah, I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, it's hard to replace a guy like him. And as good as Graham was offensively, defensively, even though he wasn't a great athlete, his feel for the game and his ability to understand what we were doing from a defensive standpoint probably impacted us the most, but wasn't really necessary. We knew what his situation was. The problem was every Monday for basically all season long, I had a completely different team. And I've been very fortunate throughout my head coaching career to where I haven't had to deal with very many injuries, especially to starters and guys that are playing. And for whatever reason, last year was just one of those years where just had a lot of different things happen. You don't come to Boise this year. What the heck? Yeah, no, I know. Well, I mean, you guys all, I mean, I love how I'm sure someone put you on to the the San Diego State never coming to Laramie, to come play, which I told Dutch and I saw him a little bit while ago. I bet the motivation for your guys not to just play in the national championship game, but hey guys, if we win this game to go to the national championship game, we don't have to go to Laramie next year. And so, hey, I was just spitting facts. But that's the beauty of Laradice. I mean, it's one of those places nobody wants to come to, and we got to do a really good job of defending our home court. I'm sure you wish you had the reigning team in the championship game coming to your place. I mean, the flip side of that is you only get to play them one time, and it's at their place every year, it seems like. Yeah, no, and that's exactly. And so during the COVID year, we played there twice. I've only played there once since I've gotten the job. And but yeah, it's too bad. I mean, especially with the 11-team league. I mean, the fact that we don't play a 20-game league schedule, knowing how hard it is for us to get non-con games. And I know Coach Rice has been. So you're on board with the 20 play everybody twice. No, we've been on board. I mean, since day one, because for us in Wyoming and Laramie, which it's funny. I don't think at school anymore they teach geography, because when you talk to these kids, I mean, the fact that we had to learn states where they were at, what the capitals were. When you talk to people about coming to Laramie, it's like, hey, listen. I mean, you're not going to Mars. I mean, you're not Matt Damon, on the middle of Mars trying to figure things out. Like, you're 2 hours from Denver, and you got 2 major interstates to get there. So it's not like you're going to Jackson, Wyoming, or Pinedale, Wyoming. Yeah. Well, I was disappointed. I was looking. You guys don't make the return trip, and the one spot I don't get to go for Boise State is Vegas, which is one of my favorite cities. So it's like it was a
was a rough turnaround there. But
lose.
What did that do for the league, though, having San Diego State in the title game?
Huge. I mean, that was big. I mean, just from an exposure standpoint, and just, even though our league doesn't need validation, but probably over the course of the last, how many years and some of the disappointments of not getting out of the first round, and for them to do that, I think that really, really helped our league.
What are your thoughts on the Broncos this year?
Man, old. I mean, they're old. I was just trying to think of breakfast, seeing Max, and going back to 2010 when I came to Boise. I mean, I was trying to figure out how old Max was, and I think Max is going in on his 6th year, I believe.
Yeah, 6th year.
So, I mean, he's not necessarily probably 22 right now. He's probably more like 24, but he was probably, 10, 11 years old. I mean, I remember when he was this tall, and he seems like he keeps getting bigger and bigger. And then I asked Degenhart when I'm going to be on his show.
We'll find out the date.
He said I had to go through his booking coordinator BJ. But
that's actually not true. He picks the guests for the show.
So maybe instead of we coming to Boise, we can show up on the Tyson Degenhart.
There you go. We would appreciate that. That'd be fun. But overall, what do you think of the strength of the league this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think as you look on paper, which on paper right now, I mean, obviously there's some teams in terms of the returning players, but and so I think a team like San Diego State, even in Boise with their experience, Nevada brings back quite a bit. But, I think it's one of those deals where, I mean, it's 1 through 11. Nobody wants to come to Laramie and play us. And I think we're going to surprise some people. I said, those guards I got are really good and can really score. And Mason Walters is going to cause a lot of matchup problems. As much as I put Hunter Maldonado in post-ups and dribble downs, Mason Walters actually might be better than Hunter Maldonado in a dribble down. So, look forward to seeing it.
You guys were 10th in the preseason. I mean, based on who you lost, but I do some work for Lindy's magazine. I do all the Big 12 stories, so I got an early copy, and I was reading some of the stuff that they had written about your team and stuff. And it does seem like maybe that's an okay spot for you to kind of be the team that no one thinks is going to be any good. Maybe you can surprise some people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably probably better as a coach being the underdog. I mean, that's kind of what I've been my entire career, and so I think our team's going to have a chip on their shoulder. Got guys that they want to prove that, one, they can play at this level, and two, they have the ability to win at this level as well. But, at the same time, too, I mean, we were picked 8th and 9th, I believe, 2 years ago when we won 25 games and went to the NCAA tournament. Last year, I mean, we were picked with San Diego State to win the league, and lo and behold, looks what happens. And it was great at the end of the season. It was what makes Wyoming such a special place. I got a handwritten letter from a legendary Wyoming senator, Alan Simpson, who is 93 years old, and he's got a lot of wisdom. And in that letter, he said, coaching's a lot like politics. One day you're the toast of the town, and the next day you're toast. And so he put it in perspective. But we're really excited about this group, and I think we got a chance to surprise some people.
Any final Johnny ball game is where any final words for Johnny or Jay Tuss or anybody
the whole mafia. I mean, Boucher is probably like the money man behind it all now. I mean, I remember Boucher was still playing in Cyprus, and but it's good to see that everybody's doing well, and excited for you in your venture. Even though you cause my guy Seaman all kinds of hell when you try to make your way to Laramie, but I appreciate what you guys do and respect what you guys do.
Appreciate it, man. Best of luck this year.
Thank you,
Surprise some people, and good to catch up with you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. There he is, Jeff Linder, the head coach at Wyoming. You're good. We don't have a great segue here, so Jeff will move on. We're going to bring in the Colorado State coach here shortly, Nico Medved, as we roll along with our live coverage. Get some questions in if you got any questions, comments for any of the Mountain West coaches here, and excited to continue our live coverage of Mountain West Media Days. We will take a 90-second timeout, and we will have the head coach at Colorado State, Nico Medved, with us right after this. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. We continue our live coverage of Mountain West basketball media days. One of my favorite coaches in the Mountain West, Nico Medved, Colorado State, kind enough to join us. We were just chatting Boise State at Colorado State football game on Saturday, so we'll be heading back to Colorado Fort Collins tomorrow, and looking forward to that. But Nico, appreciate your time, man. How's it going?
Thanks, BJ. It's going good. That time of year, everyone's excited for hoop season to start, and probably like most coaches, you like your team some days, you don't others. The players are tired of practicing all the time. And
yeah.
I was funny. We had the Philadelphia 76ers in for training camp, and those guys have like 5 practices and then they start playing games, and they finish training camp, and we still got a month of practice.
Oh, crazy. What was it like, by the way, getting to see, were you guys able to watch practice and everything?
Yeah. No, it was great. And, basketball, there's, usually 2 degrees of separation between everybody, and knew some of the guys on the staff, and, had some of the players and coaches watch practice and be around. And, it was great having them there.
How you feeling about your team?
I like our guys. I mean, we got a great group of people. Feels like we're deeper, more athletic. Knock on wood, we're healthy. Which we weren't last season, and hopefully we can get to the starting gate here. And so I like our guys. Obviously, having Isaiah Stevens back is a game changer for us, and so I feel good going into the year. But boy, BJ, you look at the league; it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah, I liked how it was just the 2 words from Isaiah Stevens, "I'm back," and we'll get to the league in a minute. But he's already the assist record holder, right? And I think he's 206 points or something from being the all-time leading scorer at Colorado State. And you guys have obviously had some great players come through there. I know the COVID year now, some of these rules or some of these records are a little different. But just to have a guy like that, first-team league, player of the year candidate type player, that's got to be a nice piece to build around.
Absolutely, and a guy who's just a tremendous leader and person off the court, knows what we want to do, knows what it looks like. And so it's really hard to put it into words how valuable that is. But you're right. I mean, I get it. The guys have a 5th year. Some of the records can be a little tainted, but he said going into this year, he's already the all-time assist leader and only 200 points away from being the all-time leading scorer. So it's a Hall of Fame level stuff here at CSU.
And I know you added you lost a couple guys, but you added a couple nice pieces in the portal. Just talk about your roster a little bit.
I think obviously Isaiah, I think a kid like Pat Cartier's really has a chance to have a breakout season. He's tremendous offensively. I think he's really grown here in the offseason, in just having another year coming from Division II last year to our league, to our level is going to be great. A young man no one's really talking about, Josiah Strong, who we thought was going to be a really good player for us last year, was a double-figure scorer, and at Illinois State was a great 3-point shooter, missed all last year for the most part with an illness. He's back. We think he's going to add a lot to our team. Joel Scott, Division II player of the year, was a really terrific athlete, 2-way player. Neat Clifford. I think some of the guys that have been in our program, the Jalen Lakes, guys that are going to take that next step, becoming an upperclassman. I like our roster. I really do. And like everyone, we've got question marks, and we've got to stay healthy, and we've got to get it going the right way and all that stuff. But I think we can compete.
You mentioned, and again, we're visiting with Nico Medved, head coach at Colorado State. You mentioned the league. I mean, you have a team that played in the championship game last year that you get 2 games against. And, what do you make of the league here? You guys are picked 5th, right in the middle of the upper half, I guess, middle of the pack. What do you make of the league here?
I think the league's terrific. And you've really got great veteran coaches, guys that have built programs, understand how they want it to look. The league, you've been around a long time, BJ. I mean, the league's had, 4 teams in the tournament the last couple of years. It really looks like we could be headed in that direction again. One thing that's always true too is, the preseason polls and never look exactly the same way as the postseason ones do.
Oh, sure.
That's the one that matters the most. I think you've also got a lot of teams that aren't picked in the top half that I think are going to be really good and have an opportunity to get better. So I think the conference is going to be as good as it's ever been, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Hunter Chapman here with a comment. Nico Medved, one of my favorite Mountain West coaches. So they love you in Boise, Coach.
Why do they love us in Boise
I'm not
so
sure.
much? I don't know.
There's been some. I know you weren't the head coach, obviously, a long time ago when James Webb 3-pointer didn't get it. Were you an assistant at that point?
No, I was already gone. But you're right. Like
there's been some weird battles and then some weird controversial finishes. The one on Super Bowl Sunday, I think. I don't know if Leon's quite gotten over that one yet, but
I had a great time. Yeah, I had a great time. And so, I have so much respect for their program, and we've had some battles. I think Boise's going to be terrific. I mean, I told Leon and you guys, I thought last year Tyson Dagenhart was, in my estimation, was the player of the year in the league, just what he brings to the table. And I think they're going to be terrific, and I have a lot of respect for him, and can't wait to compete against them.
You don't have to butter them up, Coach. They already like you in Boise. It's all right.
Well, I don't think they like me that much, but yeah.
Nico, there was a comment on here. Someone wants to know what you think of Larry Eustachy joining the Boise State coaching staff.
You know what, Larry? When they had the old commercial, had the most interesting man in the world.
Yes,
that's Larry Eustachy, and I was so
without
fortunate,
a doubt,
so fortunate. Unique, and I think it's kind of cool that that he's there and back involved and helping and helping Boise. And I don't know exactly what coach is doing, but it's great to have him around, and maybe I'll bump into him in Boise.
Yeah, I when they went to Canada, there was a 4-hour trip to one of the next games, and I couldn't figure out how I was going to get there. And they said I could just tag along on the bus on the ride, and I was sitting right next to Larry, and that was 4 hours that I wish I had 10 hours. I mean, it was
great stories, isn't it? Like when he gets going, it's pretty it's pretty interesting. And so that's great. I look forward to seeing him when we get out to Boise.
What's I guess final thing here, but just how do you feel about college basketball? Just where it's at right now, and you have the whole NIL and transfer portal and all this stuff. Just how do you feel about the state of the game right now?
It's such a great question. I tell people I've got the best job in the world in a very broken profession, right now, and I say that with they're just the leadership, maybe from the top down and the direction that we're going. I don't really know what that looks like, but we've evolved before, BJ. I mean, you go through changes and there's a lot of things all happening at once, but I still have a lot of faith and hope in what we do. I love practice every day. I love the guys. I just know from my perspective, I walk out there every day.
Yeah.
And I love what we do. And we're excited to compete this year. We get to coach, we get to play these games. And so there's still a lot of good that's going on. And yeah, we're going through a transformational time. Some clarity and some changes probably need to be made. What that looks like is probably above my pay grade, obviously. But I still love what I do every day.
What is the rules emphasis this year, by the way? What do they call it for 2 weeks and never call it again? Is it hand check, or it's always something? And then have they told you yet what's going to be the focal point
you're
this year?
You're going to laugh at this, and I'm in trouble like that. I've heard it so many times, I don't even pay attention.
Yeah,
so
it's like,
the
arm bar, this. And then after 2 weeks, they call these carries or something, and then they never call it again. After
they don't. And I think it's going to be interesting. One of the things I'm going to pay attention to a little bit is kind of the off-ball charges. I think that's something.
Charge is a new rule this year, right? Or they're changing how they call the charges?
Yeah, and again, they say that, but those bang plays like that are really difficult for the officials and guys that have officiated initiated for a long time, and you have to make that split-second decision.
Yeah.
We'll see how much it actually changes. But I am curious to see, because obviously at the highest level of the NBA, they're really trying to move away completely from that, and it feels like that's where the college game's headed.
Yeah, I know Tyson was joking it's going to be harder for him to take charges.
Thank God. Like, I'm tired of him taking charges. So I hope it's a lot harder for him.
Well, hey, Nico, really appreciate your time. Best of luck this year. Looking forward to the matchups with Boise State, and hopefully, if anything says in recent history, it's going to be too competitive down to the wire games. So,
well, I hope so, and I hope you guys don't have a lot of fun in Fort Collins this weekend up at Canvas Stadium.
That's right.
We'll see the Broncos here soon.
That's right. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot,
guys.
Nico. There he is, Nico Medved, head coach at Colorado State. Appreciate him for joining us here on Bronco Nation News. We'll continue things rolling. We'll take a quick 90-second timeout. Justin Hudson from Fresno State is going to join us. Don't go anywhere here on Bronco Nation News. You looking for a new job? Well, how about getting into the trucking industry? Our friends at Transportation Compliance Service can help you every step of the way, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, all the paperwork, all the things you need. Let them help you out. Transcomservice.com. They'll have you out there towing that first load in no time. Transcomservice.com. United Commercial Insurance makes business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Give them a call, 229-8222. Bronco Nation News, a proud client of United Commercial Insurance. We highly recommend you do as well at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. The Raines family is happy to have made the switch to Boise Dentistry Co. Highly recommend you do as well. Dr. Miner and his staff, full family dentistry for the whole family. They make it an enjoyable experience to go to the dentist, and we highly recommend you check them out. 5 locations in the Treasure Valley. You may think you're happy with your dentist. You'll be even happier if you make the switch to Dr. Miner and Company. Check them out online, BoiseDentistryCo.com. The pounds continue to fall off, and it's thanks to Dave and our friends over at Lean Feast. Check them out, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Full customizable meal prep. You want to go into the store, pick out your meals individually. That's great. It's right there on Eagle Road in Meridian. Or you can do it all online at leanfeast.com/Meridian, and they'll deliver it to you. 208-487-5782. They're feeding the football team, the basketball team, Taylon Green, Ashton Genty, Tyson Degenhart, and more. Check them out. Lean Feast, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Still time to get that fall round of golf in, and you need to do it at Timberstone Golf Course out in Caldwell. Book a tee time at playtimberstone.com. The best greens in the valley, new technology, new golf carts, friendly environment, fun, challenging course. Check them out, Timberstone Golf Course. Book your tee time today, and I'll see you out there. PlayTimberstone.com. All right, we're back. We continue our live coverage here at Resorts World in Las Vegas. We're going to be 3 straight hours here, so stick with us all morning and early afternoon as we're covering Mountain West basketball here at Mountain West Media Days. And kind enough to join us for a couple minutes, the head coach at Fresno State, Justin Hudson. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thanks for having me.
But I guess first, we're in Boise, Idaho, Boise State. When you think Boise State, Leon Rice, what comes to mind?
Good basketball.
You know you're going to get a pretty good team when you play them.
You know you're going to get a pretty good team. You're going to have some good players out there, and they're going to be very well coached.
What's I know for you, it's been a little bit of a tough time getting it rolling there. I mean, how are you feeling about trying to get over that hump this year?
I'm excited about it. Our talent level's better. You know, our experience is pretty good. You know, and we can't put it together. We've had some good year, then bad year, good year, bad year. So we're going to try to be consistent.
What was it? 6 transfers, I think you added. You had a lot. I mean, what was kind of your goal trying to retool the roster here? Because you lost some guys also.
IQ and toughness, you know, and I think we got it.
Yeah. What is I guess in terms of trying to just get things rolling there? I mean, this Mountain West is so hard, and I know you guys play a challenging schedule too. I mean, just what has been you mentioned kind of the consistency, I guess, is it, but what has been the biggest challenge, I guess, in really trying to get that consistency going there in Fresno?
There's a lot of challenges in that. It's, you know, college basketball, like any college athletics, is very competitive. So, you know, you got to do a good job as a whole. You know, it's all about the we.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, we've had a couple good years and a couple down years. So we're going to try to get that consistent. You know, Leon's been there a long time, so he's starting to become really consistent, right? I think he's one of the most consistent guys in the conference, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so you're modeling after those type of programs, and we've had some success against them, and we've lost. So you just keep building.
You've added, I mentioned the portal. You've added some guys. You've lost some guys. What do you make of the state of college basketball right now in terms of the transfer portal and NIL and just where everything's at right now?
Different. It's a lot different. You know, and I try to control what you can. So in today's landscape, you want to try to succeed in that. You know, as far as your personal feelings about how much money or whether they should transfer. You know, I don't worry about that too much. I just try to control what you can. And if this is the rules, then let's try to succeed in that.
How is Fresno State in terms of the NIL game and trying to do things there for men's basketball? I mean, is it where probably never where you'd like it to be, but what's that been like trying to build that up?
It's fun. You get to meet a lot of people, right? You meet a lot of good people that want to support your program. So when you get out in the community and you're talking about today's landscape and you're trying to explain today's landscape to business owners and alumni and donors, that part is great because you get a chance to meet them.
Yeah.
The not so great part is we had a chance to keep Orlando and we didn't. So a couple years ago, and that would have helped us tremendously and build some momentum.
Yeah, it's crazy what it's come. I mean, when you were first got into basketball, I mean, who would have thought it was when you're recruiting? It's now legal to be talking money and all this stuff. I mean, it's just a different game right now, huh?
It is. It really is, and that keeps you young because it keeps you on your toes and it keeps you learning the rules and and how to navigate and try to succeed in that landscape. That's the bottom line. Don't complain about it. Let's get better at it and try to succeed in it.
I don't know if pressure is the right word or anything, but for you this year, I mean, how big do you see this year in terms of really trying to, see some tangible progress, with what you're doing in Fresno?
Well, pressure is always internal, usually with coaches and players a little bit more than external.
Yeah.
It's the pressure you put on yourself. And like we said, we've had some progress. We just took a step back last year. We won 24 games the year before.
Yeah.
So we took a step back last year. So you want to make sure you want to get consistency. You want consistency in your program, and that's what we haven't had. We've had success, but we haven't had consistency.
What does excite you about maybe there's an individual player or two, but what has you excited about your team this year?
The talent level. I'm not saying we're the most talented team or not the most talented team. That will remain to be seen. But we definitely have an upgrade in talent. We're excited about that.
What do you make of the league? I mean, you bring back a team that in San Diego State that played for it all last year, and obviously a very talented team. You guys are picked 8th in the preseason. What do you make about the overall talent in the league this year?
This league's always tough, and most leagues are always tough, right? And that's why it's a competitive, situation. But hats off to San Diego State. What they did last year was incredible. It really was. It was incredible, and it helped our conference. It helped them. It helped everybody. We've had a lot of good teams in this conference for a long time, but to be on that stage and what they did, really brought some light to our conference.
Well, we'll be heading to Fresno first in November for the Boise State football game at Fresno, and then we'll be heading back. I believe it's some point in January for the basketball game. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Best of luck
BJ.
this year, and we'll be seeing you in Fresno.
Thank you.
There he is, Justin Hudson, the head coach at Fresno State. We appreciate his time here on Bronco Nation News as we continue live from Mountain West Media Days, basketball media days here at Resorts World in Las Vegas. So we appreciate everybody for checking us out. By the way, I'm doing this thing 100% solo. I've got a remote control and all the cameras, all this stuff is literally me by myself. So someone was saying my collar was popped at one point. I had an earpiece right here, if you can see it, that I was putting in, and I screwed it up, and it wasn't in correctly. So, I don't have Colin or anybody here. Jaden couldn't make the trip, had a test to help with some of that. So thank you guys for keeping me on my toes here. We are going to have a special treat. Brian Dutcher, the head coach at San Diego State, is going to be coming up shortly. And again, if you joined us, the interview with Leon Rice and Mark Few was supposed to be here in 3 minutes, but Mark Few's plane was delayed coming in from Spokane due to some fog. So we're going to push that interview back and try it at 11:30. So we're going to try 11:30. We'll probably have a new special link for that because we're going to go live till noon, and that's 12:30, by the way, 11:30 here. So that's going to be 12:30 back in Boise. Will be the Mark Few Leon Rice interview. We've got Brian Dutcher coming up shortly. Then we have Steve Alford, Tim Miles, Kevin Krueger, Richard Pitino for the coaches. We'll get into some players, and then we'll go all the way straight up until noon Mountain Time. Then we'll take a short break and be back at 12:30 with Leon Rice and Mark Few, and then we'll have Leon Rice for another interview, as well as Tyson Degenhart and Max Rice coming up as well this afternoon. That'll be at 2 o'clock Boise time. So live coverage throughout Mountain West Media Days here. I guess I could switch over to the other spot here. Maybe it'll look a little better for the camera work here, but there, how about that? So I mentioned that if I can raise the camera up a little bit. There we go. How about that? That looks better. We're here live at Media Days. Again, San Diego State was picked first, 333 points. Boise State was second with 299. You had New Mexico third, Nevada fourth. Both New Mexico and Nevada got a first-place vote, by the way. Boise State got 4 first-place votes, finishing second. Colorado State, by the way, that's pretty impressive. I don't know who all voted, but for Boise State to get 4 first-place votes, I think that is a nice testament to Leon Rice and what Boise State is doing right now to be able to still get a 4 first-place votes when you bring back a team that played in the championship game. No disrespect to Boise State, but I think San Diego State, you're in the title game last year. You bring back some of your key pieces. I think you have to be the preseason favorite to win the league. So I had no gripes there. Colorado State was 5th, UNLV 6th, San Jose State 7th, Fresno State 8th, and then you had Utah State, Wyoming, and Air Force wrapping things up there in the preseason poll. And again, Tyson Degenhart, Isaiah Stevens, Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn, and Lamont Butler are your 5 players on the all-conference preseason team. Isaiah Stevens is the preseason player of the year. Reese Waters, San Diego State, the newcomer of the year, and Deedon Thomas Jr., the guard from UNLV, is the preseason freshman of the year as well. So we got a nice setup here. You got the Field of 68 just down the road here. You got the Doug Gottlieb Show is here, a lot of national media members, and we're having a lot of fun. I'm actually really enjoying this setup here at Resorts World. It's not Circa, but it'll do for right now. And so we'll see when Brian Dutcher is making his way over, hopefully here fairly soon. So we'll see where Brian Dutcher is. We're already going to be getting behind schedule here, I guess. So we will go ahead and play our 3rd commercial break, and I will do that right now. And then when we're back, we will have, hopefully, Brian Dutcher, San Diego State head coach, in 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Brian Dutcher coming up. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON Management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON Management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the 2nd floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, still waiting for Brian Dutcher to join us. Should be very shortly here. We moved up the schedule because originally we were supposed to have Leon Rice and Mark Few at this time. That interview has been pushed back, as I said, until that interview will be at 12. I keep getting the time zone screwed up. 12:30 in Boise will now hopefully be Leon Rice and Mark Few if we can squeeze it in. So we moved some things around. We got Brian Dutcher coming up any second now if he makes his way over here. And then we've got Steve Alford coming up after that. So if you have a question for Brian Dutcher, you have a question for Steve Alford, go ahead and get those into the chat now, and we'll get those ready. And I appreciate you all, guys. Our interviews down here sponsored by Taco Bell. Go check out tacobellworks.com if you're interested in applying for a job. We highly recommend you support the folks over at Taco Bell. 30 plus stores. They operate from Burley to Ontario, everywhere in between, and they've been doing it for over 50 years, and we're very appreciative of the Nicolason family, SON Management, Taco Bell, our interview sponsors down here at Media Days. So this in the business is what they call stalling, and we are stalling for Brian Dutcher as he finishes up another interview, or when you're live on the air for 3 hours, it's kind of what happens here, folks. So we will hopefully have Brian Dutcher joining us shortly. If you do have any questions or comments, we can get those in here. Mark Few delayed his flight to get out of the BNN interview. No, but he did decide to fly down private, and they were unable to make the times work. So he'll be here as soon as he can, and we'll hopefully get that interview to you at 12:30 Boise time. Will be the Mark Few and the Leon Rice interview, if possible. Dutcher is awesome, so grateful to have Dutcher on. A lot of folks are coming over. We still trying to get Coach Dutcher? Oh, we're moving Coach Dutcher around. So we will move Coach Dutcher around. Steve Alford still should be good for 9:40, though, I believe. So we'll have him in about 7 minutes. So don't go anywhere. We got Steve Alford coming up in 7 minutes. Looking forward to that here at Bronco Nation News. And again, San Diego State was picked first. If you joined us late, Boise State came in second in the poll. New Mexico was third. And then it goes Nevada, Colorado State, UNLV, San Jose State, Fresno State, Utah State, Wyoming, and Air Force rounding it out. Tyson Degenhart, he was my vote for the preseason player of the year, by the way. He didn't get it. That went to Isaiah Stevens, but I think with Boise State finishing second in the preseason poll, Colorado State's going to be fifth. I think Boise State's going to have the better team. For me, I thought that it should have been Tyson Degenhart. So we'll play a quick timeout. We'll play another 90-second commercial, get that out of the way. Thank all of our sponsors so we can keep these interviews rolling, and we'll do that right now. Don't go anywhere. We have Steve Alford, the head coach at Nevada, coming up here in just a couple of minutes. We'll be right back on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, so we are back here, and it turns out we're going to push Brian Dutcher back to this afternoon. Something got in the works there. So in 4 minutes, we will have Steve Alford. He will join me right here in 4 minutes. So you got a question, you got a comment, we can get to that. And then in 4 minutes, we will have Steve Alford join the show live, and we'll continue our live coverage here at Media Days. So I apologize for a little bit of the delay here. Apparently, they're talking about ask Dutch how much tougher Boise State is than Alabama. Have to ask about that home game. We certainly will have to ask that. Thoughts on the middle of the Mountain West this year? Worse than last year. Better or worse? I mean, you look at the preseason poll. I think Colorado State's going to be good. I think UNLV is going to be good. Nevada should be good. I mean, San Jose has a new roster. They lost some guys, and they're 7th. I do think the bottom could be not great. I think Wyoming's going to be better than anticipated based on what Coach Linder was saying. But I'm not sure what to expect from Air Force, Utah State, Fresno State. There are some got to watch what I say about some of these teams with some of these coaches back here. You never want to upset anybody that's standing right there listening to what you're saying. Let's see. Jerry says you're knocking it out of the park when it comes to stalling. You're a natural. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Not exactly something I'm excited about right here. I'm going to switch chairs for just a minute, because if these chairs are remote control, and if I try to switch the cameras, I need the one shot here on the guest. So we'll looks like Steve Alford's getting ready to come join us right now. We'll bring him in just a second, and I'll go back to this chair. So we'll be good to go. Here comes Coach Alford right now. So 2 minutes early. How about that? So Continuing our coverage at Mountain West Media Days. This chair right here, Coach, if you don't mind. Steve Alford, the head coach at Nevada, nice enough to join us here. Got a headset for you there, Coach, and we'll get that on it. And Coach, Bronco Nation news here in Boise, but I know there's a big Mountain West coverage, fans from all around the league watching. We appreciate your time. How's it going?
Thank you.
Oh, I had your mic muted there. There we go. How you doing?
Thank you. Doing very well.
What just they've had this on Zoom a little bit, and just to get back to doing this in person and seeing the Jeff Goodmans of the world and some of the national media and your other coaching friends and players from around the league. What's the feeling like getting to come down here and do this?
What's terrific, and I was telling Corey about it, and Nico, this is what it should be. This is the way Media Day should be, and we're a top level college basketball league. The Mountain West is a very special league, and I think this is a great way to celebrate our great league and the great players that we have in this league. So I think the players are really enjoying it, and we're fortunate to be here and talk to everybody and try to pump up our league, because I think it's going to be another terrific league.
Yeah, I mean, you had a team literally play for it all on Monday night from this league, and I know there's even some teams talking to like Jeff Linder. They're picked 10th. He thinks they're going to be a lot better than they should be. I mean, just overall, what you've been in this league, a couple of years now. What is your take on this league going into this season?
Well, I've been very fortunate. This is my, I think, 11th year in the Mountain West Conference, so I've seen the Mountain West grow. I've seen it change teams. You know, back in the day at New Mexico, we had BYU in it, we had Utah, we had TCU. So we've seen it change and make a lot of changes, and all for the best. I think it's just continued to get better. We're like everybody. We're out of COVID now, and that was a strange, weird time. And I thought our conference did a great job of managing us and getting us through that. And now it's a huge uptick. There are not a lot of leagues that say they have a Final Four team. They had 4 teams in the tournament, and and you're seeing that. They're not a lot of these teams across the country wanting to play Mountain West teams. Scheduling is probably the hardest thing that we do now in the Mountain West as coaches. So you just try to put together the best non-league schedule you can to prepare you for what is an absolute grind in January, February, and early March in this league. It's a lot of fun, but it's a heck of a grind.
You mentioned the scheduling, and that is one gripe that some Boise State fans have, is that the home schedule is never they have a really tough time getting some quality teams in the non-con to come into Boise to want to play, and they've got to go play Wazoo in Spokane or play Clemson at Clemson or go play in these tournaments. They're playing St. Mary's, but it's in Idaho Falls because they wouldn't want to come play in Boise. I mean, what can you say? You said it's a lot harder than you think, but are you surprised that teams aren't calling Mike Burns back?
Yeah, Boise's no different than Reno. We're having that same struggle. Dutch isn't getting to play. There's nobody
Why is that?
to San Diego State and play because of the Power Fives. It's I've always said it. I think it's part of the squeeze. They don't want to even give you an opportunity, and they have a lot of other leagues that they can go to and probably say, hey, we'll come to your place, and it's a legit opportunity to win a road game. Yeah, you schedule a Mountain West team in the non-league and come to their building, you're going to have to play really well to get a road win. So I've been on both sides. When I was at UCLA, the last league I was wanting to play when I was at UCLA was the Mountain West. I remember when I took that job, I called Dutch because he was at San Diego State when I was at New Mexico, and I saw him at a luncheon. I'm like, don't even call. You got no shot, so I'm not playing. So it's just the respect that the Mountain West Conference has. We have great coaches. We have even better players in our league. And it's so I think from the outside, it's they can stay away from our league. That's probably what a lot of teams are doing. And we have to go weird places and get in MTEs and do some wild one-off neutral games just to play people.
And it seems like some sneaky tough road venues in the league too. I mean,
very tough.
Not the Pit's obviously not sneaky, and you got San Diego State. You guys have a good atmosphere there. Obviously, Boise's a tough place to play. What do you make about going on and a lot of times, I don't know if you guys chartered all the games or not, but I mean, a lot of times the travel is not easy. It's connecting flights. It's landing in Denver and driving 2 hours to get to somewhere. I mean, going on the road in conference play in the Mountain West is particularly tough.
Well, it's hard, and it's a difference. I grew up in the Midwest. There's so many schools in the Midwest and the East, so a lot of road games you can bus an hour or two and play. You don't have that out west. You got vast land and not as many schools, so the travel is greater. And not only that, in the Mountain West, you're getting maybe half the schools are going to be at sea level or around there, and half the schools are going to be in altitude. So you got Wyoming that's all the way above 7,000 feet, all the way down to San Diego State that's sea level. So you get all of that kind of change too. And then you talk about the venues, the fans. the Mountain West is covered very well by their fans. That's the thing I've appreciated. This league's I've been very fortunate. I've been in the Missouri Valley. I've been in the Big Ten. I've been in the Pac-12, and by far, as far as fans, venues, and there's a reason 11 years in this league that's been a lot of fun. It's just, I think most people out east and in the Midwest don't realize the cool venues that we have in the Mountain West and the kind of fans that we have in the Mountain West.
Well, I want to ask about your team, but while we're talking about the league, I'll ask you quickly about Boise State because we are Boise State centric and wanted to get your thoughts from afar. First on Leon Rice. What are your thoughts when you hear Leon Rice?
Well, Leon, we've known each other for a long time, and like I told him in breakfast, it was more than Leon. I just told Max, I said, Max, just continue to listen to Mom. Mom really runs that thing, and if you need more time, you need more shots, you need better treatment, that's who you need to really pay attention to. So we have a lot of fun with it because I think it's cool. As a coach's kid, I was a coach's kid. I was very blessed that I was able to coach both my sons, Corey and Bryce, at New Mexico and UCLA, and now the time that he's having with Max is something very, very special. But he's just done a great job. He's got a great staff. He's got a great culture there. They're very consistent in winning and doing it the right way. And he's got a very good team coming back again. I think they're going to be extremely competitive again this year.
Is that one of the road venues you don't enjoy having to go to?
Well, it's hard. It's a difficult venue, and I've been doing it for a long time. But it's because of the quality of coaching, the quality of players, the quality of team, the quality of fans. You start putting all those things together, that makes for a tough road trip.
We heard you guys are getting the new, we saw the big news a couple weeks ago about the new stadium there, the new arena. Some folks were asking about that. Fill folks in on that, and how big of a deal is that for you guys?
It's huge. It's a $1 billion project and all privately funded. Alex Merle he stepped to the plate in a huge way. It's going to be something very special. It's almost like bringing a little piece of the Vegas atmosphere to a corner there in Reno we're going to have retail shops. We're going to have like a Topgolf type of deal, the Bellagio type of fountains, sports bars, from gift shops to a phenomenal arena that you're looking at 11,000 for probably concerts and other venues that come in there, and then 10,000, a little over 10,000 for basketball, and it's going to be state of the art. And we feel like it's going to be the best arena out west. It's got all the potential of being a fantastic arena. It's going to be fun to move into.
When's the hope on when that would be done?
We're hoping 2026 is the hope.
So not terribly far away.
Not too far.
What in terms of your that's obviously going to be something very nice to recruit to, but with the NIL and transfer portal and all that, I mean, you've had some losses, some additions. Everybody's seen it both ways. Where's Nevada in terms of how you guys are doing in the NIL game and and dealing with the transfer portal? And what do you make of that big picture with college basketball right now?
Yeah, we feel like we're in a great situation. We're moving into the Atlantis building here next summer, which is a new locker room lounge for men and women's basketball that I think our community has really stepped up. They understand the value of athletics in our community, and I think they value the type of people we're bringing to the basketball program. It's not just talented basketball players, but high character guys and good people that represent Nevada on their chest at the best that they possibly can. So I love where our NIL is and where it's trending. Our facilities are gaining huge momentum for us. And I think the guys that we've been able to bring in this year are really going to help. It's our deepest team. It's our more athletic team. It's probably our most physical team. So we really wanted to create and help our athleticism and physicality, especially up front. I thought we really grew defensively. Offensively, we were very efficient last year. Defensively, I think we grew, but rim protection was something that was a concern.
Yeah.
And I think we've been able to evaluate that and correct that moving into the season.
I had Keenan Blackshear first team, coach. I'll just say it. I voted him first team. Maybe it's just he has huge games against Boise, but I think he's one of the best, certainly 7-8 players in the league, if not 5. And Lucas certainly could have made an argument to be on that team as well. Right. I mean, to build your team around two high scoring guards and guys that can create shots, that's a nice place to start.
Well, and Max. I promote coaches' kids, so Max could be on that list too. He had an incredible year last year, and I think that's why our league will change that. I think that's something the coaches have to talk about. Preseason doesn't mean much, but it is about advertising. It is about marketing the product, and the product is the players. So I think you'll see us hopefully extend that, because I think 5 players is way too little. I'd be for 10 to 15, promote 10, because I can easily come up with 15 players in this league that could vie for first team, depending on, you got to play the games to see how all that happens. But we've got a lot of really good players in this league, and you've mentioned two of ours. Keenan is special, 6'6", 230-pound point guard. You just don't see that very often. So you have to prepare differently for us, because it's not a road runner point guard. It's a very physical, big, athletic point guard that can beat you a lot of different ways. And I think he continues to work and get better at his trait. And then you got Jared Lucas, who I think is one of the better shooters in the country, and a chance to get over 2,000 points. Not a lot of players do that. He's got a chance, I think, a second leading scorer, returning in our league, maybe third, but prolific scorer in our league. That it starts there, but I think it also extends to our depth, because we got very good depth right now.
Yeah, final thing, Coach. Picked fourth in the preseason. I know you said that doesn't mean anything, but obviously for a team that got 4 teams to the tournament last year, I mean, to be up there in that top third is where you want to be. It does sound like you feel really, really good about this team, though.
We do, because we got depth, and I think we made that turn last year. We came out of COVID, which, I'm not saying we didn't handle it well, but it's just weird. It was an odd time for us, and we had to battle injuries last year. We had KJ Himes out all season long, but 4 games. Daniel Foster in and out, and Hunter McIntosh only played 5 games. So we got everybody healthy right now. Hopefully we can stay healthy. I like our depth. I like the character on our team, and the experiences that we got last year could really bode well for us going into this season.
Well, we appreciate it, Steve. Looking forward. I think it's the January 13th in Reno. Boise State comes to town on looking forward to that on a Friday night. Maybe it's the 12th. I forget, but it's that weekend, and should be fun. Looking forward to those 2 games, and best of luck this year, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Steve. There he is, Steve Alford, head coach. You can just take it off, and we don't have any good transitions or anything, but we got Tim Miles coming up next. We appreciate Steve Alford, the head coach at Nevada, for joining us here on Bronco. They're having a good joke over there about that. Tim Miles and Steve Alford. We'll go from one team to the next here, and we'll keep this thing rolling on Bronco Nation News. I need one more camera. I just figured out I need to get a third remote control camera that I could have over here that's facing me, and then I wouldn't have to change chairs here. But if you got a question for Tim Miles, San Jose State, please let me know. 5th place finish last year in the Mountain West, 21-14, 10-8. So we're going to keep rolling here. We're really excited about this. Tim Miles, and we got Kevin Krueger coming up, Richard Pitino. So still some more coaches to get to. Jamal Mashburn Jr., the player, is going to join us. Keenan Blackshear, Jaron Lucas, you just heard us talking about them. They're going to join us as well. We got Isaiah Stevens, Lamont Butler, Darian Trammell from San Diego State. Looking forward to that. A lot going on. And then we got Leon Rice, Tyson Degenhart, Max Rice this afternoon. We got Brian Dutcher this afternoon as well. But we are also hoping to have the interview. I just saw Mark Few is here. Mark Few did make it about 15 minutes later than he was supposed to be, but he is in the building now. So hopefully we can make that work at 12:30 Boise time. 12:30 Boise time. Mark Few, Leon Rice for a short joint interview here if we can make it happen on Bronco Nation News. So we can blame Steve Alford here for taking our time with Tim Miles, but Tim Miles is going to slide on in here and join us, and looking forward to this. Tim, come on in. We'll take you right here.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Tim?
Great.
BJ Rains in Boise, Bronco Nation News, and you might have been one of the few coaches that you followed me on Twitter, and I didn't follow you back because I think it was from your analyst days. So I followed you back yesterday. I appreciate that. But what's it like being here and being able to joke and talk to Steve Alford and see all these coaches again? And it's kind of the unofficial kickoff to the season here.
Well, BJ, I appreciate the follow, man. My numbers are getting down there, so we need to after I sat out for 2 years, it was
you're doing all right.
Debilitating to my Twitter career. But no, so I appreciate it. It's fun being back. It's fun to get back with the coaches. We haven't done this in person in a long time, and so I think that camaraderie really comes out. Everybody's bad, nobody's any good, everybody's sandbagging, and so it's fun to see everybody, and just before we have to try to beat each other's brains in.
I was gonna say you're all undefeated right now. So
yeah, exactly.
What just the league? You had a team in the championship game last year in San Diego State, and a lot of talented teams. And here you guys were finished 5th last year, and you're picked 7th in the preseason. I mean, once again, going to be a pretty talented league, you think?
Yeah, I don't know who picked us 7th because that's way too high. Yeah,
Too high.
Yeah, way too high. But you look at the league. I remember. So I was in the Mountain West originally, right? When Boise came in, we lost Utah, BYU. Boise comes in, I think, my second or third year, and was a great addition, obviously, to the league. And so now, it was really strong at the end. 2010, 2011, 12, 13. It was a 4 or 5 bid league, 5 bid league 1 year, 4 bid league, and it was really good. And we were part of that at CSU. And then I thought it, kind of had some retraction, right? Lon left UNLV, Steve left, everybody kind of, I mean, Leon's the only guy that, and Dutch are the only 2 guys that hung in there, I think.
Yeah, they went from the 5 teams in the tournament down to like 1 or 2 for 3 or 4 or 5 years there.
And now I think you've seen, that kind of, here it is again, the reformation, adding Utah State, adding Nevada really helped the league. And I think that, and of course the 2 California schools, I think it's really a strong league. It's a well-coached league. It's the players are there, resources are there, fan support's unbelievable. We go up to Boise last year and just a phenomenal crowd. And I think it was a Saturday afternoon or something like that didn't end my way, but it was still.
You got them. You got them back later in the year.
Well, we needed to, but honestly, it's a great league, and to see it as a multiple bid league doesn't surprise me. It's why I wanted to come back to this league.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I did.
I know everybody knew you would get it turned around there. Just your track record. I mean, I don't think anybody had any doubt. Everybody said at the time, great hire, but to get to 21 wins last year and finish 5th. I mean, was that on pace? Are you ahead of schedule with what you're trying to do there?
That was ahead, because the last time they had 21 wins, I was an 8th grader at Dolan Junior High in Dolan, South Dakota. So it was kind of an upset that way. But we had a special player, Maury Moore. We had a couple transfer guys that really bought in. I think the biggest thing with our generation of young people, a lot of people are different, say, oh, these kids leave every time things go bad. But the one thing I've noticed too is as those kids come in, they're more welcoming of accepting each other and accepting a role and accepting like the collective good, the greater good, the collective whole. And you could see that with Sage Tolbert, Rob Viola last year. They came in and they wanted to fit in and just make the team better and wanted the team to win. It really helped us. And again, the Mountain West Player of the Year really helped too.
That was great. And people were asking about that, boy, we can take live comments and questions here. And somebody, Jordan, was asking about the end of that game and when you guys beat Boise at home. And that was obviously a big win for you guys at the time. And said you absolutely frustrated the Broncos there towards the end of the game. What do you think?
Cardenas got an offensive rebound, threw in about a 25-footer. Might have been at the end of the shot clock. Maybe it was a kick out and hadn't made a shot all month. And that was the dagger for the Broncos. And remember, when I saw that go in, I'm like, oh, we're winning this game.
Yeah.
And Omari was so good down the stretch. You had to play physically. Like Boise was the only team I played big against. We played our center, Ibrahim Diallo, and our other center, Rob Viola, to try and match up with Degenhart and all that size and that length and strength. And so, Leon really made you have to think, like, how am I going to match up with this group? And it wasn't easy. But we had a special player and then we got a lucky break. So that's one way to beat them. But they got us at their place when I thought we were going to come back and beat them. And
that's right.
And
that's
and
right.
The guard Shaver hit the long 3 on
That's
us.
right. Yeah. Tie. Yeah. That's right. With 2 seconds left, and it was a tie game there. That was a classic finish. I know you don't know every player on the roster and stuff, but they obviously have Tyson back, Max Rice back. What do you make of the Broncos this year?
Yeah, I think Max Rice is one of the more underrated guys, right? I mean, obviously a lot of people are like, oh, he's the coach's kid or whatever. I mean, people really say that, and it's stupid because he's a hell of a player, and he's really an impressive player, and he knows how to score. He's got this savvy, uncanny way about him. And then Degenhart is I think he's one of my more favorite players to watch, not to compete against. But I'm really impressed with his ability and how good he is and all his versatility of what he can do for Boise State.
Derek wants to know, what would it take for Tim Miles to don the duck mask?
Well, the thing about the duck mask is there's only one of those. And so I think that anybody else that wears it does it a great disservice. But Derek, that's a smart question. I like it.
Jordan says, does Tim know if the mascot has any beef with the duck for stealing all the thunder there? Do you know what's going on there with
I don't know about the mascot beef, but we're just trying to get that bread in San Jose.
What you mentioned losing Amari Moore, you lost some other guys, and you've retooled the roster a little bit. I mentioned your pick 7th, and you said that's too high. But
we have 7 freshmen.
7 freshmen. Okay, so tell us about
who
your team.
else has 7 freshmen in this league besides Air Force? So
in this day and age with the transfer portal, not very many in the country, probably. Yeah.
So we have obviously we don't have an NIL bona fide program that we can associate with at this point in time. And it's established, but it's not plentiful. Let's put it that way. So you end up with some younger players. I think as a lot of things are going to have to go right for us. One, we got to get healthy, stay healthy. And then as we go, we need those younger guys to get up to speed and have that confidence to be able to play. But the league's going to be great. Should be a lot of fun.
What tell you that you are taking the different approach? The freshmen over the transfer portal. You mentioned the NIL having a part in that, but is that? I mean, I know that's what you're doing, so you hope it is. But I mean, is that a sustainable model? You think long term, or how do you?
Well, if you can keep them, if you can keep them, but eventually, if they're good enough, we lost our starting center to an NIL deal somewhere else at a Power 5, and that's a reality that some of us are going through right now. It's not a fun reality, but I don't blame the kid either. So we need to get our house in order and get up to speed and go that way. But in this day and age, it's a little bit interesting because the art of recruiting, where you used to develop a relationship, show a development plan, how you can impact winning, it almost is a little more transactional now because you still have that. But then if the kid says, "Hey, I'm going to get $55,000 to go here, coach, what do you got?" I'm like, "Well, I got a bag of chips, dude." I mean, so it changes a little bit, and there is a little bit of that transactional thing that does occur.
Well, final thing. I mean, how do we get the fan support up a little bit? How do we get some more fans in the building there? You guys are, winning some games, 21 wins last year, as I said. I mean, can we get some more fans to come out and support you at the games?
I think the one thing, Scott McDonald and Jeff Konya, our deputy and our athletic director, the one thing they've done is they bought time on Bay Area NBC.
Okay.
And I think that will help, just that local presence. Where you can turn on NBC and our ratings have been really good. And I remember last year when we were on late in the year, I forget, it might have even been Boise, but a couple of my friends had texted me like, "I can't believe I'm watching a San Jose State game in a sports bar."
Yeah.
It was unheard of. Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that there are some media ways that we can infiltrate, and we're trying to. I think that will help because we all know that TV-driven stuff really works.
Well, we appreciate your time. Best of luck this season. I think January 5th, Friday night, I already got my plane ticket bought there for Boise State at San Jose State. So it's the conference opener for Boise State, I believe. They've got the bye before that. So
yeah, I don't think it is for us. I think we'll already be 0-1.
Yep.
So
appreciate your time, Tim. Thanks a lot. There he is, Tim Miles, head coach at San Jose State. We're going to bring in Kevin Krueger here momentarily from UNLV as we continue to talk Mountain West basketball here. And how about that, Tim? We're probably going to be 0-1 already. Did you hear that? That was pretty oh, that's pretty funny. We're having fun here. Mountain West Media Days, Bronco Nation News here. Live coverage continuing. Thank all of our sponsors for making this happen. Coach, pop on in here in the first chair. We'll talk some UNLV basketball. Appreciative of Coach Kevin Krueger for joining us for a few minutes. How's it going, Coach?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. We appreciate your time. I know UNLV in Las Vegas for a lot of fans in Boise, Idaho. I'm sure all around the Mountain West, one of the favorite trips to make, and we don't get to make it this year. Boise State does not come to UNLV. That's disappointing.
Yeah, you got to talk to the conference about that one.
So we only get you once. It's in Boise. What do you make of the conference this year? And obviously you had a team in the title game last year in San Diego State, and I know a lot of teams are feeling good about themselves. I mean, it's going to be another year where it's every night out. It's going to be a war.
I think so. I think 4 years and 4 teams in back-to-back years is a heck of an accomplishment. And with the returners you got, when you talk about, of course, Dagenhart and Max Rice, and then you go to Colorado State with Isaiah Stevens, and you go to New Mexico with their backcourt. I mean, across the board, I think expecting 4 or 5 teams in the tournament again this year is a fair expectation.
And it seems like the league too. I mean, some of the venues you got to go to are just underrated, and it seems like it's just maybe from Vegas it's a little different. You can probably get to most places in one flight, but I mean, it seems like a lot of these road venues. I was talking to Steve Alford. I mean, you got to change planes and then drive 2 hours after you land, and then you have elevation and you have good fan bases. I mean, going on the road in this league is not easy.
No, and I think that's I've said it a number of times when asked about it. I think it's an incredibly underappreciated league. I don't think it's disrespected. I just think it's underappreciated in terms of how hard it is to get wins, not only at home, but especially on the road. A very, very solid, loyal, loud fan bases across the board, and the ones that aren't necessarily discussed a lot. But if you talk to a handful of coaches outside of the Mountain West or in other coaches or in other conferences, I think you're going to hear it's hard to do scheduling. It's hard to make a non-conference schedule as a Mountain West team because a lot of those, when you discuss home and homes or when you discuss neutrals, or you hear there is a certain level of respect around the coaching community for how good the Mountain West is.
Yeah, but I would think UNLV, Vegas, you got to be able to get games, can't you?
You'd think so, but I think the way that conference realignments shook everything up, a lot of conferences have gone to more conference games. I think it's just making it harder for the Mountain West to schedule.
What do you make of your team? I know you guys were picked 6 in the preseason, kind of right there in the middle of the pack. I know you got an exciting freshman you're excited about, and you brought in some transfers. How do you feel about your group this year?
Feel good. We thought we had a good spring and a good summer, bringing guys in that a couple freshmen, but also a couple transfers to blend really well with the returners. I think the returning group we have is one we're going to have high expectations for. They've done a really good job in the summer and the fall of setting the tone and the expectation of what daily life needs to be like as a running Rebel. And so we're excited about the way they've blended so far. And I think this is a group that's just going to continue to get better as the year goes on.
Thomas Jr., the freshman's getting a lot of love, was the preseason freshman of the year. What kind of impact can he come in and have right away?
Yeah, I think he's a natural born leader, natural born point guard. So a lot of those point guard duties we're going to expect. We've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball from last year. We did a really good job taking it away from people. Now we've got to do a better job this year of protecting it, getting shots up on the rim. And I think that's something that he kind of naturally can do. And he's somebody that can naturally help others as well. We don't have to force too many things. We need to get better, cleaner looks. And but at the end of the day, we got to take care of the ball better, and that's what he does really well.
What's it been like having your dad back out here? And I saw him at a lot of the tournament games last year, and he's in the stands a lot. But just I don't know how much influence he's actually in terms of coaching or X's and O's talking to you about still at this point. But just to have the family together again out here, and it's got to be pretty cool.
Oh, it's great. We have a babysitter, which makes it great, and and I think that's his. The job he enjoys the most, him and my mom, watching our girls for us to give us some time, which has always helped a ton. But yeah, I mean, he comes to practice. He helps us, just kind of a lot of the direction we go. He helps get out and fundraise and be around people, and then of course he's a mainstay with the guys. They know who he is. They respect him. So he's able to be around the program and be a helpful influence.
My dad was in the sports media industry too, and so I've kind of followed in my dad's footsteps, and so and I've kind of wanted to make a name for myself and not be known as Rob Reigns' son or whatever. And you've obviously been doing that, but what's that been? I mean, you're obviously proud, and your dad's done a Hall of Fame coach, done a ton of things in this business. But what's it been like also trying to create your own legacy, your own name, and be your own person here? Yeah,
I think you said it best. You kind of understand. You live your life with a built-in comma after it, but that's fine. I'm perfectly fine trying to follow the footsteps of him and my mom and the kind of the path they led for us. And they were great parents, still are to this day. They're my best friends. And so when people say anything about that, following footsteps, I think that I'd be lucky and blessed to have the type of career and the impact that he had. And that's what we're trying to do. And we're trying to build this Running Rebel program back to where the city is proud of it. We're getting to the NCAA tournament and just kind of get back on that winning side of life.
Like I said, we are based out of Boise, cover Boise State. So what are your thoughts on Leon Rice?
Leon, oh gosh, the worst. No, he's great. Really enjoy Leon. Got to spend some time with him at the USA camp in Colorado, and just appreciated everything he did. It was my first time up there trying to be a part of it. He was great in communicating. He was always the same guy every day. And I have an unbelievable amount of respect for his teams. The way they play together, they share it. They're an incredibly hard scout because of how well they play together. You can't just, say they're going to run this or this guy's going to do this every time. And that's just kind of a tip of the hat to him and his coaching staff, just because of the way they play. Obviously, the crowds have continued to grow over the last handful of years since he's been there. Multiple NCAA tournaments, but he's fun to be around. He's fun to talk to. He's somebody I root for when I watch in the non-conference, and I'm just I guess just like him. I guess.
Well, you mentioned being a coach's kid and stuff. What about Max Rice? And he dealt with that for a while, and now he's become one of the better shooters in the league.
Absolutely. I think I understand what Max is going through and what he goes through, and but I think at the end of the day, I see Leon as very proud, and Max worked hard to get where he's at, and I think that's just awesome to see. They got a great relationship. You can tell the players respect Max and they appreciate Max, and sometimes as coaches' kids, people just assume that you're going to play because you're the coach's kid, or you should know this because you're the coach's kid. But the way Max has played and the career he's had, he's earned what he's got, and he's going to go down as one of Boise State's best ever, and as he should.
Well, we appreciate your time. As always, exciting time in Las Vegas, the sports scene right now, man, with the Super Bowl here, that F1 race. I mean, the Strip's a nightmare right now. But, I mean, has it been kind of, as we wrap this up, I mean, has it been seeing some of the pro leagues start to come here now and stuff? I mean, you guys are having to share the pie a little bit, but is it overall a good thing for UNLV in the city here?
Absolutely. I think it's just the increased support of sports. When you talk about the Raiders, you talk about the Knights, the Aces are winning. What Lindy's doing on the women's side is great. What Coach Odom's doing on the football side, we've got a lot of excitement around the football program right now, and a big rivalry game this weekend in Reno that we're all going to be watching. And so I think if anything, it's just good for everyone. It's cool to go to sporting events right now. It's cool to go root on your team. And for a while there, when we were kind of the only sports the men's basketball team in town, then a lot of the attention was focused, good or bad.
Yeah.
And now it's but now I think a lot of people are excited about supporting the team and going out and helping them win games. And so the more sports here, I think the better.
Well, Kevin, we appreciate it. Best of luck this year. We won't see you in Vegas. We'll see you in Boise, and then we'll see you for the tournament. But appreciate your time. Best of luck this year.
All right, thank you.
There he is, Kevin Krueger, head coach at UNLV. We'll continue to roll along here on Bronco Nation News. We'll take a short time out. Richard Pitino, head coach in New Mexico, going to join us right after this. You looking for a new job? Well, how about getting into the trucking industry? Our friends at Transportation Compliance Service can help you every step of the way, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, all the paperwork, all the things you need. Let them help you out. Transcomservice.com. They'll have you out there towing that first load in no time. Transcomservice.com. United Commercial Insurance makes business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Give them a call, 229-8222. Bronco Nation News, a proud client of United Commercial Insurance. We highly recommend you do as well at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. The Raines family is happy to have made the switch to Boise Dentistry Co. Highly recommend you do as well. Dr. Miner and his staff, full family dentistry for the whole family. They make it an enjoyable experience to go to the dentist, and we highly recommend you check them out. 5 locations in the Treasure Valley. You may think you're happy with your dentist. You'll be even happier if you make the switch to Dr. Miner and Company. Check them out online, BoiseDentistryCo.com. The pounds continue to fall off, and it's thanks to Dave and our friends over at Lean Feast. Check them out, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Full customizable meal prep. You want to go into the store, pick out your meals individually. That's great. It's right there on Eagle Road in Meridian. Or you can do it all online at leanfeast.com/Meridian, and they'll deliver it to you. 208-487-5782. They're feeding the football team, the basketball team, Taylon Green, Ashton Genty, Tyson Degenhart, and more. Check them out. Lean Feast, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Still time to get that fall round of golf in, and you need to do it at Timberstone Golf Course out in Caldwell. Book a tee time at playtimberstone.com. The best greens in the valley, new technology, new golf carts, friendly environment, fun, challenging course. Check them out, Timberstone Golf Course. Book your tee time today, and I'll see you out there. Playtimberstone.com. All right, we continue our live coverage here, Bronco Nation News at Resorts World, Mountain West Media Days, Day 2. We had the women yesterday, we got the men today, and we're rolling along. One of my favorite coaches in the Mountain West. We get a chance to catch up with Richard Pitino, the head coach at New Mexico. Coach Pitino, thanks for the time. How's it going?
It's going good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Everybody in Boise loves you. I don't know if it's just you're a big Leon Rice fan. You're always very complimentary of him, but we had a lot of comments. People are excited to hear from you back in Boise and around the Mountain West. But just being here, man. You having a cup of coffee? You're BSing with some of the coaches. I mean, doing some interviews. Asked a couple of coaches this, but just to be down here and be around everybody around the league. How's it feel?
Yeah, it's almost like when you get invited to a wedding, right? You're like, I don't want to go to this. And then you end up having fun. That's kind of what media day is. I mean, I think it just solidifies almost. I was looking at my calendar this morning and I'm going, oh my God, we play in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's great. I think Vegas is a perfect location. It's kind of easy for everybody to get to. And it's great. I mean, these coaches and the leadership, Gloria and everybody. I mean, they're really, really good. And that's part of the reason why they've been able to have so much success over the years.
What do you make of this league? You had a team in the championship game last year. You've got, you guys are picked third, obviously. You did get a first place vote, but there's probably 6 or 7 teams in this league that realistically think they can finish in the top 2 or 3. I mean, I know it's the same story every year, but the league, it seems like, just keeps getting better.
Yeah, I think the key to success anywhere is continuity. And I think San Diego State's obviously had it, started with Coach Fisher. Dutch has done an amazing job of kind of, carrying the torch there. And I think Leon's been there, 13 years, I believe.
Yeah.
And the consistency that Coach Rice has had of just building. They're really good and talented, but well coached. Their staff does a great job. That consistency is amazing from the top down. And then you look at Coach Alford's been there now for a while. Nico Medved's been there. So, and then you've got the kind of the UNLVs and the New Mexicos who've been traditionally good, who are trying to build. So to have that sustained success of 4 teams in the NCAA tournament the last 2 years, 1 team in the NIT the last 2 years as well, that's almost half the league is playing in the postseason. So it's terrific.
I got to ask, Coach, just get it out of the way. We're getting all kinds of comments about it. What happened with the baseball team when you guys played?
Leon being a baby. I blame Leon. No, honestly, what happened was, so I'm walking down the ramp, and it was a close game. I don't know if we were winning or not. Leon was hot. Leon and I are friends, and I really, really like him. And he doesn't get, I guess he kind of gets on the refs a little bit, but he's not like this temperamental guy. So I'm like, what is wrong with you? And he's yelling at me about the baseball team. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I think our baseball team was outside of their locker room, which they should not have been. Now, to our defense, there's not a lot of room back there.
It's a pretty thin hallway.
It's a thin hallway. So, but our people should never had a team out there. It was an emotional game. So I tried to get Leon to be, hey, man, you guys are playing great. We're playing great. This is a fun game. But I totally get where he was coming from. I wouldn't have put the baseball team out there if I wanted to intimidate him. I'd probably go football or something like that. And
he was still hot 90 minutes later
after the game. I saw him, and now I was in a good mood because we won, but he was hot. But I can assure you nobody intentionally did it. But I do see anywhere you go, especially on the road, like you got to have a safe space. And I think our people own that for sure.
And I know they said it was just intentional, but I kind of got a chuckle. The Boise State had the football team sitting by your bench when you guys came back there, and they said they had to leave at halftime. It was the easiest spot to get them in and out. And then I got in trouble for making that a big deal when I guess it wasn't supposed to be. But that is one of the things that's great about the Mountain West, man. There's some great road environments and great places to go and great fan bases and usually competitive games and stuff like that happens time to time.
Yeah, it's like I said, if it's ever intentional, like, people obviously need to be held accountable. I don't think it was, but I tell you what, I've been lucky. This is year 12 of being a head coach. I was in the Big Ten for 8 years. And I think the Big Ten's always known for great venues. I would put ours up against any of them. Boise was obviously terrific. San Diego State, phenomenal. Nevada was really, really hard this year.
Yeah.
So that's the key. And the cool part of majority of our places, besides, I guess, UNLV and San Jose, is there's no pro sports in any. I guess San Diego has baseball, but none of them have pro sports. So we're kind of the show in the wintertime, which is cool.
What do you make of how's New Mexico doing in the NIL game? What do you make of where that's at with college basketball and stuff right now?
It's really interesting because there is this faction of people who want to act like it's nothing. It is everything. I can only speak for college basketball. If you don't have it, you have no chance to compete. So we've been fortunate to have some great support locally of some very influential people who've been able to provide great opportunities for the players. And I think the Mountain West is starting to catch up. It's become, there was 10, 15 years ago, if you don't have a practice facility, you have no chance, right? That was the big thing.
Yeah.
If you don't fly private everywhere, you have no chance. Well, now everybody's caught up. It's an arms race with everything. And it's just kind of the reality of it, whether you like it or not, it's not going anywhere. And for New Mexico fans, we need to continue to have that support if we want to compete the way we want to.
What? Tell us about your team. You got to such a hot start, and just how are you feeling about your team here coming into year 3?
Well, I think last year was it was obviously great that we started 14-0. We were the last undefeated team. I never envisioned it to happen that soon. Obviously, we were really starting over. Now, transfer portal has helped teams like me and other teams maybe flip it a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Now we want to have some sustained success like Boise's had, like San Diego State has had, to where we can get this train continue to move forward. What I'm most proud of is we got the fans back. The pit was kind of, I don't want to say dying, but I think the brand was hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think for the Mountain West, I always felt it was UNLV, New Mexico, San Diego State were kind of the brands. Boise's done an amazing job of putting themselves certainly in that conversation as they deserve to be in there. We got to get back. UNLV's got to get back. And in order for our place to get back, it starts with the pit.
Yeah.
We are able to bring back guards like Mashburn and House, who are terrific players. And we've complemented them with some really good transfers to go along with some young talent, Donovan Dent, Braden Applehans, Quentin Webb. So I'm excited about it, but it's going to come down to, again, like I tell people, they ask me, how do you like your team? I said, I think similar to last year. Some kind of get annoyed by that. And I'm like, well, we lost 2 league games at the buzzer.
Yeah.
If we win those 2, we're in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And then Jalen House.
Man, that San Diego State one was tough. And Boise State fans were watching that because they would have had a chance to get first place. The next game they were playing them and would have had a chance for first place. So that was you had a lot of people in Boise rooting for you on that night.
Yeah, I felt really bad for Boise when the shot went.
I was with the coaches at the airport watching that game. We were heading back from, I think, San Jose, and they just had a really tough loss to San Jose. And then they were, then they had a second gut punch right when that happened. That was a tough one for you guys.
It's always hard when you're rooting for other teams, and but that's the fun of it too. We played really well against San Diego State. They're certainly kind of the class of the league, and we were lucky to beat them at their place, and we were right there. We just got to make the stop. But San Diego State, I get so much respect for what they're doing, what they did last year, and certainly we're all trying to catch up to them.
Final thing quickly, we're going to talk to Mr. Mashburn here next. Tell us about him.
Loyal, which is kind of weird in today's world. And I tell people this story all the time. I got the New Mexico job, and Mash called me and said, I'm coming with you. And I legitimately said to him, well, I got to see it first. I don't want to bring you. I care so much about him as a person that I don't want to bring him to a situation that I don't feel great about. I took the job. I've been there one time in 2005. And I got there and I saw the facilities and I met some amazing people. And I said, yes, I think you could flourish here. It's deeper than basketball with me and him, and it's not always that way with your players. You try to get it that way, but it can be a little bit challenging because sometimes you don't have enough time with them.
Yeah.
But I want him to be great because it'll help our program, but I also want him to be great for him because he deserves it.
Well, we appreciate your time. Like I said, I know you and Leon are close, and that people in Boise, they like Richard Pitino, man. They like it, except when you're playing Boise. But I feel like you're one of the coaches, Brian Dutcher. I mean, there's a lot of good coaches in this league and guys that are easy to root for. So best of luck this year, and looking forward to seeing you guys. I think Saturday home game in Boise. That place will probably be rocking when you guys get up there, and then you'll return the favor. There late in the season at the pit too, so looking forward to it.
Absolutely, thank you, BJ.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Richard. There he is, Richard Pitino, head coach at New Mexico. We're going to bring in one of his star guards here, and we'll just go keep the New Mexico talk rolling here on Bronco Nation News. Come on in here, sir. You can have a seat right there in the first seat. We got a first-team All-League player, Jamal Mashburn Jr. joining us, and I think you could have been Player of the Year. You may have gotten a little gypped on that one, but how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Can't complain.
Appreciate you for coming on. You're talking to Boise State fans, Boise, Idaho, Mountain West fans in general here. What's it like being down here, man, getting to come down to media days?
Man, it's great. It's been terrific, man. It's been real chill. I mean, I've been asked some great questions. I love speaking, and I love talking and letting my energy show. So it's been great.
Man, you gotta. I've never seen someone make the elbow jumper look so easy, man. How do you? I mean, you did it about 5 times in a row against Boise in that game down there at the pit. I mean, what is it about that? Just that. I mean, you must practice it a ton, but that's quite the skill, man. How do you make it look so easy?
I mean, I give all credit to my father, man. I mean, he built my game, and he built me in that area, man. I mean, he didn't allow me to shoot a 3 for like the first 4 years of my development process.
Really?
Just because, when you're a kid and, you're shooting a basketball, some kids like to push it from their chin. And my dad always preached just getting it up above your head. And, I wasn't strong enough as a young kid to shoot threes like that, so he didn't allow me to. So that was just my process, and I just became comfortable in that area so well, and it's just so natural for me. So, yeah, man, and a lot of work.
I'm sure you get a ton of questions about your dad, but I mean, it's not very many people get to have a dad that did what you did. Somebody wanted to ask you on the YouTube chat, by the way, how many times have you picked to play with your dad in NBA Jam?
Oh man, it's actually funny. I'll never pick him, but he'll pick himself because we play against each other.
Okay.
With video games, everything is competitive with us. I mean, that's my best friend. So, we'll go back and forth. But he loves to play with himself, man. He loves to try and get 50 or try to get something with himself. So he loves himself, as he should. So,
how's he doing?
He's doing great. I mean, he's enjoying life, living his best life. They've been doing a lot of traveling. Him and my stepmom, Bailey Smith. They've been doing so much traveling across the world, enjoying life, staying healthy. So he's doing great, man. He's doing great.
Well, we'll keep the comments rolling here. Derek wants to know, how would you rank the road venues in the Mountain West? Obviously, the Pit is seen by a lot of people as number one, but where's a tough place to go play on the road here?
Ooh, let me see, because I love road environments and just stuff like that. I love playing at games like that. But I had a great time playing at Boise, man. Boise, y'all, the crowd was there, man. Y'all were loud. I like the modernness of the arena. I think Boise and San Diego State got pretty much the best, besides the Pit, they got the best arena for me to play in as far as.
You're going to make it tough for the Boise State fans and not like him, man. You're speaking nicely of him. I mean, you're saying all the right things here. When you've had some battles, man, with Boise State, when I just say Boise State, what comes to mind in terms of the players or the team?
Man, just a well-coached, tough group of individuals, man. I mean, they going against them, you got to really game plan. And you got to really be on your P's and Q's because they'll run it up on you guys, really run it up on anybody really quick. Skilled offensively. They got a guy at Dagenhart who I think is terrific. Going up against him is great. I mean, he's a terrific player. I think top to bottom, man, it's just competitive and just great, well coached team, man. Rice does a great job. Well, you
had yourself and also your teammate Jalen House, first team preseason. Congratulations on that. And this is a league where there's 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 guys. I mean, I thought Keenan Blackshear or Lucas from Nevada could have been on there. I mean, there's some good players that got left off, so it's an accomplishment. And to be first team, and like I said, I thought you could have been preseason player of the year. I don't know what the voting was. They gave it to Isaiah Stevens. He's deserving, obviously, as well. There's a lot of. I mean, I think a lot of people in Boise thought Tyson Degenhart could have been the preseason. I mean, there's some good star power in this league, man.
There is, man. I mean, I think that's the beauty of it. I mean, that's what makes the game of basketball and just any competitive sport fun. I mean, you have guys that want to do well or are working on their games and they want to prove themselves so well that it just makes it room for those guys to just have an opportunity to be a preseason player of the year. I mean, a guy like Stevens, man, he's well deserving of it. Well deserving. I mean, he's a terrific player. I love going up against him each and every night, and he gives me something different to guard and stuff. And I love competition, man, and I love getting after it. And, I'm not mad about the preseason polls. I mean, that is
the postseason one's the one that matters, right?
That's just for damn sure, right there. That's for sure. So I mean, we just got to process, keep going, and keep getting better. And I can't wait to get this thing rolling, get this thing started, man.
Let's see. Hunter Chapman wants to know, what's the best part about playing for Coach Pitino?
The best part about playing for Coach Pitino, I'm gonna give you that real answer. He lets me take 15 shots. he lets me play my game, man. He's seen my game develop from the time I was in 8th grade to now, man. As a basketball player. And he's just allowed me to grow. He's allowed me to make mistakes. He's allowed me to figure it out and hold me accountable too. And that's one thing about a coach. You got to hold your players accountable and hold the coaches accountable too. So it's been amazing. I mean, I wouldn't now. He's the best coach I played for. So
yeah, only 15 though. Come on.
A little more. If we're going up a little more, you know what I'm saying? That's fine. We can go up to 20.
Hey, I told you the Boise fans are liking you now, man. Great interview. I'm a fan, says Jordan. Yeah. Everyone's enjoying it. Robbie Robinson does want to know if there's any player on Boise State that you joke with or trash talk with on the court. Do you know anybody? You mentioned Tyson. Did you know anybody before that, or is there anybody that you've gotten to jaw with? I don't know. Is Max Rice a little trash talker out there?
He keeps it quiet, man. I mean, man, I would say definitely me and Degenhart, we've had conversations. Man.
Okay.
He's a great dude. He works on his game, works on his craft. I mean, I think as great players, get to see great players, every now and then you kind of pick and choose, what you see from them and what you can learn from them.
Yeah.
But our preparation for games I've seen it's unmatched. I mean, he prepares for his games before games. I see him doing his thing on the sideline.
Yeah.
He sees me doing my thing on the sideline, and then we'll ask each other about it and just have a conversation. But it's always competitive, man. Always competitive with me and him.
How you feeling about your team this year?
Oh, I feel super good. I mean, I'm super juiced just to continue to grow with these guys and just continue to build this chemistry in this month of October, leading up to November 6th. I feel really special about this group, man. I mean, everybody's all in, everybody's accepting of their roles, and the Mountain West Conference is continuing to skyrocket up as far as just competition, just getting so much better and so much more exposure, like the ACC, like the Big Tens. So, man, I'm so excited about this year. So excited.
How do you and Jalen make it work? You joke about you shooting 15 shots a game. I mean, he's probably up there pretty close to you. I mean, how do you guys make that work? And usually one of the two of you is at least hot enough to will you guys to a victory. But to have two guards, again, both first team, both like to have the ball in their hands and stuff. How have you guys been able to make that work?
Man, it's worked out tremendously for us. I mean, I was talking to someone over there about the interview. He was we have such different personalities that complement each other so well. I'm a little bit more calm, reserved, laid back. And, I won't let my emotions be on my sleeve. House, man, that works for him. He wears his emotions and he gets everybody pumped up. He has everybody energetic, diving on the floor, doing all those little things, and it just works. It clicks. I mean, it's like a yin and a yang kind of thing, man. It's like it just works. It works.
Well, Kurt says, well-spoken young man. You're getting rave reviews for the interview, man. So we appreciate you sitting down with us. Looking forward to I think it's going to be a Saturday night in Boise. That place is probably going to be rocking. And then you guys will return the favor at the pit in late January, early February, I think it is. So appreciate you guys are picked third, Boise State second. I mean, it should be a fun Mountain West year, man. Best of luck to you, and we appreciate your time, man.
Thank you so much.
There he is, Jamal Mashburn Jr. We appreciate him for joining us here on Bronco Nation News. Let's take a quick timeout. We're going to have Keenan Blackshear, and we're going to have some Nevada players joining us right after this. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 90 seconds. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, we're having fun. You guys, I'm just going to be honest. You got a tough act to follow here. Jamal Mashburn Jr. was getting rave reviews from the fans for his interview there.
Oh.
He's a good talker, man. We enjoyed chatting with him. So we're excited to have Keenan Blackshear and Jaron Lucas for joining us from Nevada. And I've got the names backwards, so we won't switch chairs. But that's Keenan, that's Jaron. We got it backwards, so sorry about that. But thanks for joining us, guys. What's it like being down here, seeing all the players and coaches from around the league and stuff?
It's been pretty cool, when you're able to kind of separate, or, so many times you see all these guys and it's, you're in you got to win. Being in a different environment like this is always pretty cool. Being able to, talk with some other people, me being from SoCal as well. There's a fair share of SoCal guys here too. So being able to see some guys I haven't seen in a while. It's been cool too.
Now, I got to be honest, man. I'm not just saying this for the interview, but I had you first team, man. I voted for you first team. You didn't get it. They put 2 guys from New Mexico on there. I mean, you both could have made first team. There's 8 or 9 guys in this league probably that feel like they deserve it. But so I wanted to get that out of the way. That I did have you first team. You were right there in the mix too, Mr. Lucas. But just what for you is kind of what's your outlook on the season, man? How are you looking at this year for you and for the team?
I'm really looking at taking the next step.
Put that a little closer to your mouth if you don't mind. There you go.
I'm really looking for taking the next step as a player myself and also as a team. Really just taking the next step of just we done like everything else except win a championship, win a regular season, and also just advance in the NCAA tournament. So that's what we're focused on right now, and just it started in summer really with all the work that no one's seen really.
You've obviously had an awesome career, but I got to ask you, going back to the Boise State freshman year in the conference tournament, you had the shot there. Was that you that had the shot at the buzzer there? Yeah. Boise State goes on to win the tournament after that, and one shot that could have been you guys. I mean, is that fuel you or motivate you at all the next couple of years, just having a moment like that as a young player?
Definitely that motivated me. I love those type of moments. Just back against the wall, what are you going to do? And I was the type of person that doesn't matter, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. And that really fueled me for the next year. And we've seen how that helped me progress through this year. I hope that helps me in this year too.
What for you? What for you? Where are you trying to take your game to the next level this year?
I think definitely defensively I've made steps throughout my career. I think being able to defend at a high level is going to be important this year. And I think I'm in the best shape of my career. Coach has put in several coach night, Indiana stuff, conditioning wise, into this year, and as well as Eric Spoelstra and the Pat Riley Heat mentality, and really putting us in the best shape. And it wasn't easy for a couple weeks, leading up to this season. But like I said, I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life.
You were number 3 in the conference, I think, in scoring last year. You were up there as well. I mean, how do you guys make it work? You both are guys that like to have the ball in your hands and take shots. I mean, what's kind of similar to House and Mashburn, I guess, but how do you guys feed off each other, and how do your games kind of complement each other?
For me personally, Jared's a great shooter, and I never played with a shooter like that before, and just finding him in certain ways and just you can get easy assists off that. I'm more of a giving person, so I like to share the ball and stuff like that. And scoring comes second for me for this team. That's not my role to be the best scorer. That's his role. And then I'm totally cool with that. He can go get 20, 30 like that, but I just need to get him the ball and stuff like that.
Obviously, you're different types of players as well in your games and stuff. Your ability to kind of create a shot if you need to and get to the rim, and you had a couple big buckets against Boise doing that last year. I mean, what is that? Do you like that part of your game too? I mean, maybe just if you need to post somebody up or get physical in the lane, I mean, that's something you can do.
Really, I want my game to be as versatile as it can. I always looked at LeBron and just looked at like bigger guards like Rudy Gay, Tracy McGrady. They all had every tool that you needed to be a great player. And like, I wanted that for the longest growing up. So yeah, like that's what I look at.
What's it like playing for Steve Alford?
I've enjoyed it. Me and that we both have similar games, but coach has done everything you want to do as a player. I don't think there's too many coaches here that can say they have the accolades that Coach Alford has, being that he's won a gold medal, he's played in the NBA. I'm sure there aren't too many players that can say they played with Michael Jordan too. So he has every experience, won a national championship. He has every experience you want to have as a basketball player. So being able to look up somebody like that is important. And then his mindset as a coach has been great as well.
Where's the toughest places to go play in the Mountain West?
My first year in the Mountain West, it was Boise. I think it was y'all last game. I think you were winning the championship that year.
Was senior night to clinch the title, and they stormed the court there. Yeah.
That was a great environment. I love that environment. The pit, San Diego State is right on top of you, and Lawler is like that too. So I just love to play in those type of environments.
As someone that came over from the Pac-12, I mean, what have you made of going on the road in the Mountain West?
I think overall, the Mountain West, beats the Pac-12 when you talk about environments. I mean, you got elite environments in Boise, Utah State, San Diego State, New Mexico, our place, and it's night in and night out. You get in there, and it's tough to play, and sometimes it's hard to hear yourself. And you also take a look at the Pac-12. I mean, on a consistent basis, it's really only Arizona, and then maybe you throw UCLA in there with consistent, tough environments. Most of the other arenas are, and they're not the best, or crowd-wise aren't the best.
Well, Jared, Keenan, we appreciate you guys for jumping on. It's going to be another tough league this year, right? I mean, you got a team that was in the title game in San Diego State, and you guys are picked fourth. I mean, it seems like it's going to be one of those games where there's every night out, there's not going to be any more easy nights in the conference, huh?
Yeah, really. Last year it was like that too. Like every night, Thursday, Saturday, we're playing New Mexico. Thursday, we're playing San Diego. Saturday, we're playing Boise. Even San Jose, Air Force, like all those games was hard-fought wins, and I'm looking forward to having another great season like we did last year.
Well, we appreciate both you guys for jumping. You were the first interview with 3 people, and we're having a small issue with the mic, so we made it work. But appreciate you guys for jumping on. Best of luck this year, and then looking forward to seeing what you guys can do. Yeah, we appreciate it. There they are, Keenan Blackshear and Jared Lucas. Thank you guys so much for your time, and looking forward to you guys. Again, they're picked 4th. Could have both tried to get on the preseason first team there. It's okay. You can just set it down. No worries. And Nevada was picked 4th, and we appreciate both those guys. They both had the numbers to be first team, and I think they'll be pushing for first team by the end of the season. No doubt about it. So we appreciate them for joining us here on Mountain West Basketball Media Days. We'll go to Isaiah Stevens here shortly from Colorado State. We'll zoom in our mic here as we get ready for Mr. Stevens. And come on, right over here, man. We'll take you live. We'll take you live here and keep it rolling here. We got Isaiah Stevens, the Mountain West Preseason Player of the Year, kind enough to join us for a couple of minutes here and putting on the headset right now. Isaiah Stevens, thanks, man. How's it going?
Doing good. How about yourself?
We're doing great, man. Doing great. We appreciate you for jumping on Preseason Player of the Year, man. I mean, there was some years it's a shoe-in, but I mean, it could have been Tyson Degenhardt. It could have been Jamal Mashburn. There's some quality players in this league. For you to be the preseason player, I mean, that's a pretty big honor for you. Congratulations.
No, it definitely is. Like you said, there are a ton of great players in this league, and it probably could have went to a multitude of guys, like you mentioned. But definitely thankful and grateful to be able to have my name in this conversation. But just ready to get the season started now.
How you feeling about the team?
Man, I'm super excited. Well, Pat Cartier always said it best, man. We have a unique blend of some young guys as well as some older veterans that have had a ton of games underneath their belt and are just playing with a chip on their shoulder and trying to go out on top.
You're already the assist record holder, and you're only 206 points, I think, from being the all-time leading scorer at Colorado State. What's it mean to you to be kind of etching your name into the record books up there in Fort Collins?
Man, I think it's just a huge tribute to all the work that I've put in, all the coaches that have helped impact me on the way here. Man, I'm just truly blessed to be in this position. Not a lot of players are able to have conversations like that about those kind of periods in their career, and so I'm just super excited. Hopefully I just take it one game at a time, and hopefully it happens when it does.
There's a couple questions coming in on the YouTube chat. We'll take some of those, but somebody was wondering what's a game or two you already have circled on the calendar for this year?
Man, there are a lot of good games on our non-conference this year. I'm super excited to be able to come back out here to Vegas. We play Washington in a neutral game. Heard a lot about them. They're a really good team with a lot of great players. And then how do you not think about the Rocky Mountain Showdown, right? Playing Colorado at home this year. Man, yep. They have so many weapons, so that'll be a tough battle for us, but I'm excited for that one as well.
We obviously cover Boise State, so I got to throw in a couple Boise State questions here. What are your thoughts on that program and that team?
Man, I think they just breed excellence, honestly. They got a great staff, great players. Year in and year out, I've never seen Boise really struggle at all. They always find a way to cycle guys through and replenish and rebuild, and they're competitive every single year. So guys like Degenhardt and Max Rice, and you start just running down that list, and Shaver for a couple of years there, man. Some really dangerous players, and they've given it to us more times than not. So it's been fun competing against them.
Played some great games against them, man. At your place, at their place, we had the famous game. I was talking to Coach on Super Bowl Sunday there with the whistle or non-whistle at the end of the game, and then I mean, you guys that was an overtime game, and there's you guys have. Before you even got there was an issue once with the clock when they played. I mean, it's always something about those games, man. They're always good.
Yeah, man. There's two teams that are competing, trying to be at the top of the conference, and hopefully we'll be in those same situations this year. And those are always the fun ones, man. That's what you do it for.
What if you knew nothing about the roster, but you just said you're playing Boise State tomorrow? Like, what's kind of the style you're going to get playing Boise?
Well, they're going to execute on the offensive end. They're super sharp, super disciplined. They have guys 1 through 5 all over the floor that can score at 3 levels. And then defensively, man, they're dialed in. They're going to rotate. They're going to communicate. They're going to help each other. And they always just have that one guy on that end that's going to make sure everybody's in the right position and controlling that end of the floor like an anchor.
The art of the assist, man. How do you make it look so easy?
Man, it all comes down to the teammates making shots, man. They're the ones that help me look good. You can pass it all over the floor, but if they're not hitting shots for you, you don't even get credit for it. So I definitely don't get credit of that all by myself. So I'm super excited.
And I know a lot of times some guys have high assist numbers, but they also have high turnover numbers. I mean, is that something you take pride in too? Not having the turnover numbers are pretty low for you. I mean, is that something that's you're not just being careless with the ball, you're making the right play?
Right. When I was a little bit younger in my career, I was having some turnover issues and just learning the game, adjusting to the pace. But as I've gotten older, it's definitely slowed down for me, and I feel like I've been able to capitalize on just being in those situations more often in my overall experience. So,
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
what's
good.
it like going on the road in Mountain West, man?
It's tough everywhere you go, whether it's down to New Mexico, out at Viejas, or even up to Boise State, man. And then obviously we have the Wyoming rivalry, so those games are just tough, man, and brutal. But they make it fun. And I know when teams come to Fort Collins, it can get a little rowdy as well. So those games are ones that I have circled.
We saw the 2-word statement, "I'm back." What went into that, and what kind of unfinished business did you think you still had, in Fort Collins?
Yeah, man, I just felt like me coming back to CSU was the right move for me. I didn't want to have to worry about trying to restart anywhere, and I felt like I was at home and at peace here at CSU, and also have a coaching staff that believes in me and allows me to be who I am on the floor. And so I just felt like that was just a simple way to get the message out. I'm not a super long-winded person when it comes to trying to express myself, but yeah, man, I was just trying to get the word out.
Derek says you guys gave San Diego State a better game in the Mountain West tournament than a lot of teams did in the NCAA tournament. To know you can play with a team that end up playing for it all on Monday night and the championship, to play them and know that you're, feel like you have a chance to beat a team like that, it can beat a team like that. What does that do confidence-wise for you guys when you see a team like that make a run like that? Because you got to say, hey, well, why can't that be us?
Right. No, 100%. And shout out to those guys for the run that they went on. That was just incredible to watch. And as of late, man, San Diego State has been the standard in the Mountain West, just regular season, tournament play. They always trying to find a way to etch their names into the top 25. And so those are the games that you want to be competitive in to see where your teams are really at. And you're going to get their best shot each and every night.
What's it like playing for Coach Medved?
Man, it's fun. It's easy for me. I feel like we see the game in a very similar light. He's put confidence and trust in me since my first day on campus, and I can't thank him enough for just taking a chance on a kid from Allen, Texas, and hopefully we've been able to capitalize on that.
I mentioned you guys are picked 5th, and I know it's the postseason poll that matters, not the preseason one. You guys have added a couple transfers in. You lost a couple guys as well. Just tell us about the roster. I know I asked you at the beginning about the team, but just the individual roster here. What are we going to see from you guys?
Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll be able to really kind of turn that needle, turn that corner on the defensive end of the floor. Most Nico Medved teams are super good on the offensive end. We'll find ways to score. We got the personnel to do it. But can we hold teams to X amount of points per game and really dial it back and dial it in on that end of the floor? And we got some transfers in like Dominique Clifford, Javante Johnson from New Mexico, Joel Scott, who's a D2 player of the year. And I feel like they just give our team a little bit different look than we've had in some years. So.
Now, I'll be coming up to Fort Collins tomorrow. We got the Boise State CSU football game on Saturday. How How are they feeling up there in Fort Collins about the football game on Saturday?
Man, I hope excited. It's a homecoming game for us. Hopefully they can find a way to get the win. I know it's been kind of like a roller coaster ride for that football team, man. But when they get rolling, they can be a kind of unpredictable team at times and really surprise some people. So hopefully we pull out the win, man.
What was that like seeing what they did against Colorado, man, with the overtimes and stuff and almost pulling that out?
What a game, man. Obviously, I know on the basketball side, at least, we don't believe in moral victories, but, man, that team went out there and competed, didn't they? And so I got a lot of friends on that team, and it was fun and exciting to see them perform at that level because we knew we had it, just got to put it together.
And you guys are hopefully going to return the favor, right, against Colorado?
Hopefully.
On the court? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing you when you match up with Boise State this year a couple times. And should be a fun, exciting season for Mountain West basketball. And again, preseason player of the year. So good luck to you, man. Stay healthy. Have a great year. And we'll see you down the road.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Appreciate it, man.
You.
Thanks a lot. There he is, Isaiah Stevens, your preseason Mountain West player of the year. You can just set it right there, and we'll take care of it for you, man. Here, Bronco Nation News, we continue our live coverage. By the way, I do apologize. Maybe let me know what you were hearing. When we turned the third mic on, sounded like there was some sort of issue. So I was literally just muting the mics back and forth during the Keenan Blackshear interview. We're going to have one more of those here coming up with Lamont Butler and Darian Trammell of San Diego State. So we're going to have the San Diego State players here coming up shortly. I don't know what the issue is with the mic, but I'm going to have to work on that because we got Leon Rice and Mark Few coming up in less than 45 minutes. So less than 45 minutes, we'll have Mark Few and Leon Rice hopefully joining us live here. And again, sorry that the camera is a little messed up. I guess I can just go ahead and zoom this in while we're sitting over here. Why not? We'll just zoom this in here. And then when those guys join us, we'll zoom it back out. So there you go. Live and on the fly here. We'll get this set up. And again, we're going to have Lamont Butler, who hit that famous shot, Darian Trammell, San Diego State. They're going to join us here in just a second. We're getting the graphic set up. Looking forward to chatting with both of those guys here shortly. If you have any questions or comments for San Diego State, Lamont Butler, Darian Trammell, this will actually be the last live interview. Then we're going to take a short break, about 10 minutes, and we'll have a new feed going. And then we'll start with Brian Dutcher at 11:20. And then at 11:30, we'll have Leon Rice and Mark Few. So we were supposed to have Brian Dutcher as part of this first session. He needed to push it back to 11:20. And so we'll have a short break, and then we'll have a new stream. So make sure you come back after this interview, and we'll have a new stream for you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at about 11:20. And we'll have Brian Dutcher from San Diego State. And then we'll roll. And we'll roll right into our next interview as well. So we got our folks from San Diego State kind enough to join us here. How we doing, guys? Good. Doing good. We got Lamont Butler and Darian Trammell join us, as I said, as we get set up here to bring both of them on. There you go. We appreciate you guys for being on time here. We're working with the remote control camera here, so we'll see if we can make this work. All right, guys. Appreciate you doing. How you guys? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're on right now. But how's it going?
It's going good. I mean, we're glad to be around. This Mountain West Media Day is my first one in person. So that was pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
You got to be like, with that shot you hit last year, man, you got to be walking around here just big man on campus around here, man. I mean, everybody already knew who you were, but I mean, no one in this entire building's probably had the moment that you had, man. That was pretty cool, man. Congrats on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What was that like?
It was crazy. It was wild. I mean,
up a little higher. There you go.
Here we go. It was crazy. It was wild. I mean, life kind of changed after that. A lot more people know me, like you said. But, I was just glad I was able to do it for my family and, for San Diego State.
What was it like for you seeing the shot go in and what that did for you guys, getting you into the championship game, man?
Man, it was crazy to see. It was like a shock. Like, as soon as he rose to shoot it, I was already kind of running on the court because it looked so good. But, I mean, just realizing, like, he just made a game winner to go to the national championship. Not everyone can say that. So it was just exciting to be a part of.
remember I was watching at my house, but I had the Twitter feeds like 30 seconds ahead. So I just seen everybody going absolutely crazy on Twitter, and my family and everybody I was with didn't know. I didn't say what I acted surprised. I knew something had happened, that you had made it. And then when it went in, everybody was just in Boise, Idaho in our house going crazy. Like, that was just it's a moment literally in a moment that'll be talked about like forever. Like every March Madness video they show, like, you're going to be in, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's actually, it's something that you dream of, but just to actually live it out is, it's even better than I thought it was going to be.
Just what you guys did, that run to the championship game. I mean, for a Mountain West school to get to the title game last year, just what was that experience like, man? And what is that? I mean, I know there's no moral victories, but to get as far as you guys did and be playing on the last Monday night, something you guys had probably dreamed of as a little kid. I mean, just for a Mountain West school, for San Diego State to be able to do that, just what was that experience during the tournament like? We'll start with you, Mr. Trammell.
I mean, even when you just said it, it was like, wow, like we really did that. It's special. Those moments are going to live forever. We're going to talk about it forever. Just later down the line, when we see each other, it's going to be something that we bring up all the time. And just the pictures and all the stuff that we got from the tournament, it just helps us relive those moments. And it's always great to feel. And it's super motivating to go into the season to build off of.
Kind of, you guys have kind of run the Mountain West for a while now, been the standard, the top team in the conference. I mean, but there's some other teams that have obviously been pushing you guys. What do you make of the league? And somebody was asking about some of the road venues. Where's it tough for you guys? Where's some of the road venues in the league that usually are tough for you guys, or you enjoy playing in?
The league is really good. I mean, the guard play in the league is a high level. Every night we got to bring it. It's no nights that we can just lack off, because all the teams that are capable of winning. Some of the top venues is definitely Utah State. It's always rocking in there. New Mexico, my first time playing there last year, it was crazy. Boise always gives a good crowd, so we'll be ready. I mean, we love the big crowds. It just helps us play a lot better.
Darian, for you, what's it like? We got some Boise State fans on here. What's it like when you think Boise State, or when you play Boise State? What comes to mind for you?
It's going to be a hard-fought game. Those San Diego State and Boise State, it's always going to be a great matchup. Pretty much a rivalry. It's pretty much the year before I got here, they got them, swept them last year. So the year I got here and we split, and then it was just, it just has that fuel between the two, and it's always going to be intense. And they're a great team. They're going to be good again this year, so we're looking forward to.
Now they were the last team to beat you guys before the championship. So when you guys were making that run, people in Boise were kind of popping the collar a little bit higher. That was a crazy game though. You guys had it. Max Rice went off. I don't know if you see him. I'm sure you don't enjoy talking about that game, but what do you remember about that game where he banked in some crazy shots and they kind of stolen from you there at the end of the game?
That was the game. I feel like we let the game slip away from us. Like you said, Max Rice. Hell of a game, and it's credit to them for rallying back and taking that win. But this year should be some more exciting battles, and we can't wait.
What tell us about your team this year? And obviously, you guys have made some changes. You brought in some portal guys. You lost some key guys. You guys have always had kind of that target on your back. But with what you did last year, I think you're even more so going to get the biggest crowd, the biggest opportunity from every other team. So, how you guys feeling about trying to take another run at it this year?
It's a different dynamic. I think just having all these new pieces and losing so much, we have to figure out what our obviously we have our identity on defense, but offensively and just the makeup of the team, we have to find those roles and figure out where everyone's going to fit in. I think that comes with us just outside of ourselves and the coaches putting us in positions to win. So it's going to be, obviously it's a journey, but as long as we're playing our best basketball when we're supposed to, it's all going to work out for us.
I feel really good about this team. It's a lot different. We lost some really key pieces, like you said, but we also brought in a lot of great talent. There's going to be some freshmen who from last year who's going to play really good, and freshmen from this year you're going to help us a lot. So it's on us as leaders to rally the team and get them to playing in the form that we're used to.
Somebody had a question on here. Who would you guys consider your biggest rivals in the Mountain West?
Probably Boise State. I'll probably say them. We always have great battles, always either splitting games or games are really close. Boise State, probably recently New Mexico as well. We have some great battles with Colorado State as well.
You guys had some knack for like games coming down to the wire last year. I mean, that one at New Mexico, that buzzer beater at New Mexico was a memorable moment as well. That was a heck of a game.
Definitely, that was a fun game.
Just in terms of this league, man, I mentioned how good this league is, but how good the players are. I mean, you got 7, 8, 9, 10 players that could be first league all players. I mean, there's no nights off in this league, right? I mean, whether you're playing somebody predicted at the bottom, I mean, even the top, I mean, it seems like you never know what you're going to get in this league.
Like I said, every night you got to bring it. You got to bring it every night. The guard play in this league is ridiculous. And then, there's some players that didn't even get mentioned in the first team.
Yeah.
That are like really good that, either if they went to another team, they might be the star player, but, everyone plays that real good and, everyone's going to have a really good year. So, I'm excited for the Mountain West conference this year and, hopefully we're on top.
Darian, final thing for you. I mean, just how excited are you? Just to, as I said, coming off last year, everybody got your targets on your back. I mean, it's got to be a pretty exciting feeling for you.
I'm just excited to build off last year. I think just like we set ourselves up to be nationally recognized, and I'm just excited to be in that. And us as a team, we're excited to be in that limelight. So it's going to be a big challenge for us. Obviously, we have a hard, tough preseason schedule, and so that's something that we're going to have time and opportunities to prove ourselves. So as a team, we have to be ready for it. And we're really excited for it, and I know we'll be ready for it.
Well, we appreciate you guys' time. Congratulations. It was a fun watching that ride last year and looking forward to it again. And I know, Boise State got you guys on their senior night, and I think they're returning the favor your senior night. Boise State's coming to town this year to finish out the regular season. So I'm sure that Viejas Arena will be rocking on that night. So, again, congratulations and best of luck this year to both of you guys. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks a lot. There they are. We appreciate Lamont Butler and Darian Trammell from San Diego State for joining us, and we appreciate their time here on Bronco Nation News. As we roll along, we hit the 2-hour and 9-minute mark. We're now past 2 hours of live coverage here at Bronco Nation News as we continue to have some fun here at Mountain West Media Days. We are going to take a short break. I'm going to stop the stream, and in about 15 minutes, there's going to be a new stream that comes up on YouTube. So check back in about 15 minutes, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We'll get a new stream going with Brian Dutcher interview and Leon Rice and Mark Few. And then we got Leon Rice. We got the Boise State players and coaches coming up as well. So a lot still to get to here. 2+ hours, and we're having fun. But I am going to get set up for our second set of interviews here, and I want to figure out this mic problem on the third mic here for the next set of interviews. So come back in 15 minutes. We'll have Brian Dutcher, we'll have Leon Rice and Mark Few in the joint interview. We're having some fun. We still have Tyson Degenhart, Max Rice to come as well. 2 hours and 10 minutes, set a new record here for BNN. We'll be back in about 15 minutes or so. Make sure you're paying attention. Go subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter so you don't miss our next broadcast. We'll be right back. Bronco Nation News live coverage here at Mountain West Media Days right after this.